taken into account. There's a ton of shit.
Yeah.
But I just say all that to say these criminals are not masterminds. Like they don't think about things. Because if I was ever to commit a crime, do you understand how long I would be thinking about this? Like it would be years. I would be putting together a plan because I'm not taking any chances. This isn't weird work.
Well, again.
I used to have two other lights, but one of them the one that Keon brought was cheap as fuck, so that one broke. But the one that I had still does. But I don't know where to place that other light source if I don't have like another one. So I don't. It doesn't make any sense. So I just use that one.
In the video,
it does. What, having light, nigga?
I mean, I know having light, but like, can you? I guess.
You can. It makes a slight difference having like one there and one there. Is yeah. Because it's like kind of like light for you, light for me, like shining in these other ways. Fuck yeah.
Skittles.
Taurine.
Yeah, they say that the conspiracy theorists think it comes from like bull nuts. I don't know. I was reading something about it a little while ago. like that's why they have a bull in the commercials. Remember the old commercials for like Red Bull? It's like
well, of course, in bull, but that's monster. Are you just talking about
taurine?
Oh, that makes Taurus.
Yeah.
Toro. That's also bull and taurine.
Yeah.
Oh
Red
shit.
Red Bull. That's where they get it from.
Oh,
supposedly. I don't know.
Taurine comes from bull nuts.
Yeah.
I was about to say because that sounds like we're making a hell of a statement. Taurine, but again, that does make sense. Toro.
No,
Taurus.
Originally, that's right. Originally, it did. They figured out how to get it. They figured out how to synthesize it.
Healthline. What is taurine? Benefits, side effects, and more. Taurine is an amino acid that has a few important roles in your body, including supporting immune health and nervous function. Most of the time, your body produces enough taurine on its own, but supplements can also help you meet your taurine needs. Oh, okay. So so the TAR, the taurine part that doesn't necessarily go. Like the origin wasn't like a bull.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Here it is. The rumor says that taurine comes from the testicles of bulls or their semen. Sometimes the rumor will even go so far as to say that the company called the Longhorn Cattle Company.
Why is this Healthline.com? So we're both reading. This is what's so funny. So we're reading two different things. I'm reading Healthline.com.
Yeah.
Rest assured that despite the common belief, taurine is not extracted from bull semen or urine. Rather, it was first isolated in 1827 from the bile of an ox.
That's crazy.
In the Latin name of an ox is Bos taurus, which is where the amino acid's name originated. But it's not because it comes from bull semen.
What I remember reading more that they figured out how to like synthesize it or get it without having to go through bulls at all.
Well, yeah, I'm certain of it.
Because otherwise we'd be out here just killing bulls just for
there's
for energy drinks. Like that wouldn't that looks so stupid.
We kill stuff for less.
Yeah. Maybe that's why they them cattle slaughter conspiracies. Remember?
Are they wait a minute, what conspiracies?
You know how like all throughout like the 40s and like the 50s they used to like find cows with no blood in them and like holes drilled in the heads.
No, I wasn't.
You don't remember none of this?
No, what were
like cattle mutilation? That's never been like a rings a bell.
Yeah,
farmers would like complain about like, oh, I came up to my cattle and it was like missing like its whole side of its face and like, but it wasn't bleeding. Shit like that.
And what was the conspiracy exactly?
Most of it was like, oh, it was aliens, or it was, but but it was never proven. But it was happening at so many different places, and like there's like now declassified like government like documents that they were studying. They were trying to figure out what was causing it. Nobody knows.
Oh, to this day, no one knows what the fuck was happening.
Like this shit was real. Like cows were like being found like with, like
mutilated,
like all of their like organs missing, all the fluids out of the body missing.
What the
crazy shit? Yeah, strange shit.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know shit about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, but what gives you the energy? Is it just the raw sugar in the thing? Like what?
No, there's no sugar in here.
There's no sugar in that.
Huh.
So what is the energy part of the drink? Exactly.
It's got to be some caffeine in here, bro.
Oh, right. I did definitely read that. There's definitely caffeine. But there's just like a ton of other things that I felt like would be
other things with big words.
Yeah,
a lot of big words that we'll probably figure it out like 20 years from now and be like, damn, if you was out here doing that, you might want to go.
Yeah,
it might be one of those things because we don't know until we know. That's just how it goes. You just don't know until you know.
But why? Okay, so my thing is, there are definitely healthier alternatives.
There are.
But so why do you go towards the Monster drink? I know you don't like the coffee because it makes you shit. Like it speeds up the metabolism. But so why don't you just plan that? Just like, all right, I'm going to have a cup of coffee and then I'm going to have 10 minutes in the bathroom.
I think a lot of the time it doesn't give me a burst of energy. It more so just keeps me like from falling asleep.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. That makes sense. You have ADHD.
Yeah. There's something in these. Because when I first started drinking them when I would drive home from work. That was the only reason why I would drink. That's
hilarious. Just getting them just to drive home, just to make it home.
I would, because like I don't know what it is about like. I think it's an ADHD thing. Like when my brain gets bored, it just wants to shut down. So it's not even like I'm tired. Like I'll be sitting there like, bro, I'm not tired. Like why am I getting sleepy?
Yeah.
There's definitely a difference between tired and sleepy for me.
Okay.
Like when I'm in class, like if it's an 8, like I'm sitting instead of being out and working, moving around all day. When I have to sit down for 8 hours, just sit there, my brain just gets too bored. Especially if what they're saying. It's not something that like
interests you at all.
Not that it doesn't interest me, but it's like I already know this kind of like.
Yeah.
A lot of time, if I already know it, I'm just like, so then I'm like, oh, well, my brain's getting bored.
Yeah.
So like my brain will start getting sleepy. So I have to figure out how to make myself,
Yeah. Okay.
occupied.
Okay. So that makes sense. Same way of like people that again I've known that had ADHD and also took prescription for that.
Yep.
It just didn't work the same way that it worked for other human beings that didn't have that. Like for us, it's just like an extreme sense of focus and energy. And you're just like, no, I'm just like, I'm good. I'm just even keel and I can focus on stuff. And that's all it is. But for other people, it's like this wild energy inducing drug, you know what I mean? That they use to stay up for hours and hours and hours and they accomplish a ton of shit.
And we running around like,
And I knew someone that had Adderall as a part of their prescription, as far as they had like 7 different pills that they would take a day. There was like a ton of different shit. Yeah, because you had like, and it was, what's funny is, this is why I bring this up.
How old were they?
They were like in their mid-20s at this point in time, I think.
7 different prescriptions?
It was, man, people going through a ton of shit.
Who was their doctor?
People going through a ton of shit. This person was, escaped. They told me about a time that they escaped from psychiatric ward.
I remember that story.
But the point is that the Adderall that they were prescribed wasn't necessarily for focus. It was for their narcolepsy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It was just for them to stay awake and continue to move through the world and go to work and socialize and shit like that. But it was not at all getting them to the point of actually focusing on anything. It was just stay awake.
That's crazy.
I guess they had ADHD, depression, anxiety, just ton of shit going on. Yeah, and it would just go to sleep. And sometimes it would work out for them. Sometimes they would use narcolepsy if they were ever bored. If they were in the position that you were in, where they were sitting around and somebody was talking about some shit they didn't give a fuck about, they would just go to sleep because they knew that they could. Like they would just get comfortable, close their eyes, and knock the fuck out. And then if anyone ever had anything to say, whether it was in something like that where it was like them being there is obligatory, like school or work, or if it was a social function where they got bored and didn't want to be around, they would just blame it on like, I'm narcoleptic.
That's crazy.
Like some people talking about some shit at a party, you're just like,
falling asleep.
You're just like, fuck it, I'm clocking out.
Man.
And just go to sleep. And what are you supposed to? This is something I learned.
Their settings are different. It's like a computer. Like they gotta. You ever put your phone on like battery power save mode
every day,
and the screen turns off a little faster?
Yeah.
Their settings are just they gotta go in. They gotta change their settings.
Oh, okay. Go in and change the settings. Yeah. That's a way of looking at it. Those people, because Duty and I were just talking about like work, and we were talking about. understanding truly as an adult what that phrase means, good work is hard to find.
Yeah.
We've all been working long enough in our respective fields to know that people are just not solid workers.
Yeah.
Like, it's just very difficult to just get people that come to work on time, which is when they're scheduled every day of the week, and they're open to constructive criticism about what it is, what their skills are and what it is they need to improve on. And they adhere with the policies that they were taught.
Yep.
And they're a pleasant person to be around too. I know that's an extra boost, but just being a pleasant person, like all these things, that's not usually what you get in a worker, right? Because they're just people. So you're dealing with a bunch of shit. No. But I learned, because I had to go to an HR class. I learned so much about what HR goes through. And it's so not black and white. Some cases are, but for the most part, they're so muddied. And
you know what?
I'm bringing this up because like there are these things called special classes that I didn't know about. And you can't, like, everyone can't just be fired so easily.
No.
Because they're part of a special class.
You need to talk to who again.
Is this a lawyer of any sort?
I forget her name.
Or attorney?
She's on here.
Doctor?
She's in HR.
Oh, Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking tough. That's a tough fucking job. But I know that now, and know with all the people that take different medications for all these different mental illnesses, you have to know that information going in, because if you can, special classes again, pretty much include everyone but white men.
Yeah.
Right? So, and I was asking these questions in the middle of this course too. I'm like, so if you are like a black transgender woman or some shit like that has depression or anxiety, you're a hell of a scheduled class. Yep. Because there are a lot of things that you could blame. Like, there are a lot of excuses you could have for why someone fired you, right? As opposed to you just being bad at your job. Yep. Or you could just be like, well, I'm black, I'm trans, I'm a woman, and I have a mental illness. Like, that's why they fight. Like, they're bigots, they're racist, they're transphobic.
I saw something, that people that are, I don't know if they're putting it on their applications. I forget what it is, but they're not there. It's hard for them to find work because employers are scared of even taking on a task of potentially dealing with somebody who they deem as like difficult.
That is correct sometimes.
It's like they come in for an interview and they're just like, oh, I can't do it.
You have to, if someone comes in and like your job as someone that interviews and is going to be building a team, is this person going to be right for the job? Is this person going to be able to work well with the team that I already have? Am I going to want to work around them? Like, are they going to be a hassle? Right. Because why the fuck would I just hire a hassle? Like, that's ridiculous. Like,
but it's crazy because I feel like it's always been like that, but now there's just more words.
Yeah, because people are extra sensitive.
Everybody's just something. No, you know what I mean?
I know, but I think in the past, people more so just took it on the chin. They're like, fuck it, I got fired. It's because I got caught stealing boxes. Because like I get caught not coming to work enough. Like, I've had too many occurrences. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah and no, because now there's like teams. Now it's like you on this side, you on that side. And so,
that's what I'm saying. I think in the past it used to be more about, it was more of a meritocracy. It was more like your work here, your employment here is going to be based off the merit of your work. I think that was more so the case in the past. More so it's, well, we have to fill these quotas, so we have to have a certain amount of Asian people, a certain amount of black people, a certain amount of this or that. And once we do get them in, we can't necessarily just fire them, bro. The thing with this is I've talked about, like, the food and beverage industry and going into a place and assuming
it's probably that wild over there.
Like, you can do it from either side. Like, if you're a server and you get sat with a table, a family comes in, they're eating food and they're black, and you don't like black people as a server because you're like, black people are cheap and they're difficult and they're needy. Like, that's just what comes through your mind. Whether it's true or not, it's just what you think. Then you make a self-fulfilling prophecy where you give them shitty service, they tip you badly, and then you're like, see, I told you. right? And I think that works in all these different ways. So on the other side of the spectrum, you have the people that are walking in. Now, if you assume, and I've seen this happen, if you assume like you're playing defense already, you're in a defensive spot, like you're a black person, and I've seen this. So you're trying to make sure that you're being treated as an equal. So you're going in there with that attitude. So anything that doesn't happen for you is below par because you're black.
Right.
It's not just because some other variables happened and they didn't serve you correctly, which could have happened to anyone, but it's because you're black. So you're just going in with this defensive mentality. So then you end up on the offensive before. And I've seen people fill out reviews talking about, I sat down, I didn't get a glass of water for over a couple of minutes. And the next table that was of a different race got their waters immediately. And it's like, that isn't a lie. You are black and sat down and didn't get water. And that table sat down and they're not black and they did get water. That isn't a lie. That is reality. But it also doesn't mean that also the reality is because you are black, you didn't get the water then.
Right.
You know, but so it's like it's a weird thing that people get mixed up in. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, there's a lot more that goes into that. That's different servers, different tables.
Yeah, just different energies.
I've noticed when it comes to service, it seems like people are just focused on speed. That's all it is. It's just when it all just boils down to speed.
Yeah, you're trying to.
So if you forget something, it's going to take longer for me to get my food.
Time is of the essence.
That's all it is. It's
you're waiting tables. It's all about time.
Yeah. Oh. And the few times where I've started to notice, dang, it is taking a while for this to get out here. I look for a reason, like not the person, and they're like, oh yeah, there's a private party back there with like 40 people, and I'm like, oh, okay.
And that's another thing is sometimes you're not going to get that answer, and so you're just going to assume the worst.
Yeah, well, I sat there. I could tell that like something was going on, so I was just chilling, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, it's taking so long because there's." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I figured something." Yeah, I know you're not just in here,
just not giving a fuck.
Like I know you're not doing it on purpose.
Like you know what? Let them wait another 5 minutes on their
because
food.
I know that for a restaurant, the goal is quick turnarounds. You want to get more tables in,
exactly.
People, so like you're not.
That is the objective.
You don't want me sitting here for a long time.
No,
so I know it's not your fault. So but
most people are not working with that level of compassion, thinking, and they don't have the necessary insight to know the exact things that could be going on in a restaurant that would, back up the time of service. But yeah, it's a fucking weird thing that people get attached to when it comes to those fucking things. It's just like I had a manager that I loved, and I had this woman call her racist. It was just, and she was really bent out of shape about it. She
knew that she wasn't racist.
Yeah, she knew she was.
But then she started thinking, "Man, am I racist?
What did I do
to
have this person perceive that I'm racist?" And it was just there was a party of two, and I guess maybe these were white people at the host stand, and my manager was behind the host stand manning it, like seating people. And then there was a black lady, and I think that she had asked the black lady what it is that she needed. And so when she got that information, she had realized, she had computed quickly that whatever she was looking for, she wasn't looking to sit down and eat. She just needed some information. So then she asked this white couple what they were there for, and they were there to be seated for breakfast. So she got them in and got them sat. Mm-hmm. And then later on, after my manager had helped that woman, she went and wrote a wild review about the manager being racist and taking care of these white people before her. And it was like, yes, again, you're black and you were taken care of second, but the reason you were taken care of second was because she was trying to get these people sat in a restaurant and then could get you the necessary information. But she was trying to get their dining experience started before talking to you and handling whatever it is that you needed. But if you and your husband had been those white people and it was a white person that was in your position, then the white person would have sat there and you would have gotten sat immediately. Mm-hmm. And then you would have been happy and been like, oh, this place roots for the black people. Yeah. So it's like people attribute things to the wrong things.
Racist.
Yeah, it's tough, but that's why I bring this. I say all that to say that those special classes are very interesting because you can't just hire and fire people. You want to really be thinking about what it is you're going to have to deal with when you fucking hire people. You just can't be hiring people. Unreliable people it sucks for the whole group, and so many people are unreliable, and they have so many fucking issues going on. But you got to roll with the punches because most people have a ton of shit going on. People's family members dying every week. They got to fly here. They got to go over there to see this person. Their pets are fucking dying all the time. They got to take them to the fucking vet. They're sick all the time because their immune system ain't shit for whatever series of reasons. Their mental's fucked up, so their minds are all over the place. They're breaking down. They're just like, when you get into a leadership role, I've just learned that you are truly not just managing people's schedules or managing the operations.
Like people.
You're managing human beings, like what their expectations are when they come into work, what is going to be a month down the line for them. You're managing their feelings. You have to be a therapist. You have to be a guide,
there's a
friend, a disciplinarian. You got to be all sorts of shit.
Yeah, that's why I like the people in like my apprenticeship. Like, it's always a thing that they say, like, oh, apprentices, you guys are going to go on to be like foremen and, supervisors and all this. And I'm just like, listen, I'm good. Like, I'm not trying to like just be, it's not because I don't want to be a leader. It's because I know what comes, way more comes with that.
It means you don't want to be a leader.
Yeah, a leader.
Because you know what comes with being a leader.
I want to be able to walk out and I can not return if I don't want to. I don't gotta think about this. I can just go home. I leave it at work. I'm gone.
Whatever has to do with you is strictly you.
Like, I'm sure your phone probably be ringing and texting.
Yeah, the emails. While you're not even at home. I silence them. Like, I'll go check that email.
Yeah.
That email app, if I just want to, if I got some downtime and want to just go check out some of the reviews that we're getting from guests or whatever the fuck might be coming from other people.
Do you have a work number? A work phone? Do they give you a work phone?
No.
So at nighttime, people already hitting you up like, Earl, I'm not going to be able to be there tomorrow because people already hitting you at nighttime. Is that?
Yeah, sometimes that happens. Sometimes we open up at 7 o'clock in the morning for breakfast. Sometimes I get a text message. Sometimes you get a text message then.
Yep.
Early in the morning. Hey, I'm not going to be able to come through. My car's broke down for the third time. Don't know what's going on with my car. Or, I woke up late, or I got a cramp in my leg, or my cat knocked my charger off the wall, so my phone died, so my alarm didn't go off.
Which is funny because
which is literally
valid, but okay, it's so crazy.
So this is what I've learned.
Like, I don't think they're lying.
That's what I've learned.
But
they do be lying.
Yeah, they do.
But for the most part, they're not.
Yeah.
It's just that people's lives be sucking.
Yeah.
And you just have to deal with the fact that people's lives are chaotic.
Yeah, I can wake up without an alarm. I always wake up before my alarm. My alarm is just there just to talk. But
I am an adult.
Yeah, no, I can just wake up.
Like, you already know where I'm headed. Like,
I wake up, bro.
Nigga, I just, whatever that needs to be done is going to happen. Like, it's just gonna get done. Yeah. There's no debating about it.
Yep.
There's no wiggle room. There's no way out.
Yep.
I need to get a new license. I have. Does it suck that I have an appointment at the DMV tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
No, that's fire. That's fire because it's right around the corner in this appointment. You're gonna be in and out of there.
That's very true.
Shout out to COVID for that.
I know. I didn't know about that.
That's just fire.
I didn't know about that. I didn't know that COVID made that the case.
No, yeah, you walk in and they get you. It's my turn. I walk in. It's my turn. My point.
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, because the old DMV ways was not tight.
Was nuts.
So, or you'd have to travel to like 145 minutes away.
Try to get sneaky and try to finesse.
So, yeah, I got to go do that. Not a fucking big deal. It's not a real problem. It's a first world problem. Oh, I got to go to the DMV. I go and I get that knocked out. I got to take care of my windshield because my windshield looked like a samurai sliced the whole bottom half of it. It's just a long ass crack going across the whole bottom half of my windshield. That's totally fine.
Safe fight.
No, I'm going to. Nah, man. I'm going to a local. Come on, man. You gotta stop.
No, they pull up. There's places that will pull up on you and do it.
Maybe
you could have been in here right now while they're fixing that.
I'm looking at some places. I may go places in Mr. C's. You also got to be. I'm also trying to be slightly economic about this. Like, I don't need to purchase that if I don't need to purchase that.
Okay, you just like, who gonna get my shit fixed for that low?
Yeah, and I found a place that's a local spot that's been operating for 25 plus years.
I know that is,
and everyone just says amazing things about it.
Yeah, they don't get it done.
So yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but either way, you wake up for work, you go to work, do the work.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger, I wasn't like not going to work. I wasn't just calling out all the time.
Yeah.
I wasn't going above and beyond. That wasn't happening. Like I wasn't taking initiative. So that's clearly a thing I wasn't doing.
Right.
And I'll take that L there. But as far as just showing up to work and working all my shifts, I did that.
Yeah, easily.
Like, it's
the
it's
only
tough,
time
man.
I call out is when something that actually does come up. Actually, there's more times where I actually leave work early than call out. Call out is very, very rare.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my tires are just flat.
Yeah.
I try to put air in them, all 4 of them. Remember that time I had to get on my shit's roof? But there's been more times where I showed up to work and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta run home, man. I gotta go take care of something real quick.
Yeah.
And they know that, oh, he's not lying because he wouldn't drive out here for an hour, get up, drive out here an hour,
Right.
look us in the face, and then drive back home.
And so that's the thing with some of the employees is they'll come in and then 30 minutes into work, an hour into work, they're fucking, oh, I gotta go, I'm throwing up, like, oh, I'm sick, or this and
that's
that.
true, yeah.
And it's like, I don't think these people are lying. It just sucks that your life is so spontaneous and so chaotic that like you, by nature, you can't be reliable. That sucks.
It does.
Like I never want to be. I can be a lot of things, but I most certainly don't want people to be like Earl's unreliable. If I tell you I'm going to do some shit, I'm doing it. Like now, if I tell you I don't want to do it, that's a different thing. And you can say, Earl, don't be wanting to do shit. I'll take that. But don't. But I'm not unreliable.
Yeah.
But saying just like I can't rely on you to be somewhere when you're saying you're gonna, like, your word doesn't mean shit.
Right.
That's crazy.
Because it's going to be a pattern.
If your word doesn't mean shit,
anything, you try to do too much.
Oh, if anything, in some ways, yeah. I talk to a lot of people. Yeah, I talk to a lot. I give a lot of time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like off the pod.
That's what I'm saying.
Like if I recorded every conversation I had, nigga, I'd be on like episode 3000 or something right now. Like it would be something crazy.
Yeah, but that's why I think you're good at a manager role because you got to be a people person.
You do. You definitely have to be
very open to people.
Yeah.
My last foreman from Alexandria, he was not a people person at all.
So you have their apprentices, the foreman.
So a foreman is just the guy that is directing which projects we're working on in what order.
Right.
Apprentices, we're just the electricians that aren't legally certified. Mm-hmm. We get paid at a certain percentage based off of what a certified journeyman gets paid.
Okay.
So it's like a little step ladder.
Right. Oh, right. The journeyman.
But the journeymen are also foremen. Like it's
okay.
Yeah. Like my foreman now, quote unquote, he like just graduated the program I'm in like 2 years ago. He's already like a foreman. Okay. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna be me.
Yeah, but the foreman and journeyman, is that a lateral step? Like sometimes they kind of do a lot of the same shit, or is the journeyman an actual step above?
There's some foremen that are still apprentices. Like,
oh, okay.
Foreman is just like shift leader.
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're saying. Yeah,
it's just another name for it. Okay. All right, who's gonna direct what we're doing?
Yeah,
but he was funny because like he was a cool dude. He's funny as hell. But like when it came to like groups of people, and like a lot of people thought he was an asshole. Like, man, he's a dick. He's an asshole. But I would talk to him like when nobody's around and shit. He's like, man, I don't like this dumbass shit. This ain't no fucking people person, man. All these crime motherfuckers. And he was funny as shit. He's like, man, I'd rather just be in the back somewhere just doing my own shit, man. And he's like, nah, I got to do this. I think he wants to get that project over with and just not do that shit again. He's like, all these motherfuckers, man. It'd be funny because like when something would come up, I already know what he would say. Like, let's say this light right here is it's the wrong light, it's the wrong fixture, but we were already in the stage where the building was like finished and the people who own the building were gonna move all our stuff in. And I already knew he was gonna be like, man, fuck it. Just cut the whole shit out. Fuck it. Like he'll just break the wall down. I don't give a fuck. Like he will say shit like that. And I'll be crying, laughing like because I'll be like, y'all know what he gonna tell y'all, right?
Right.
He'd be like, man, fuck them motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's exactly how he would talk. But like
okay. So he's definitely the foreman in the sense that he's going to take us to the vision. Yeah. He's probably a disciplinarian as well, but he's not
really.
Okay.
Like he wouldn't really get on you. Like he would just he would just tell you how it is.
Yeah.
Like, but it's not like he wouldn't take nothing
But he's
personal.
definitely missing the therapist role. Like the role of just hearing someone out when they have to talk about whatever the fuck they're upset about.
Like one day they the general contractor provided breakfast for everybody. It was like breakfast burritos and shit. And it's 6 a.m. I'm not about to eat no fucking breakfast burrito, no 6 a.m. And it's funny because like he was like, shit, y'all motherfuckers eat that shit if y'all want to. He's like, I ain't eating that bullshit. like he would just be talking shit. He's like, yeah, that's why.
This person sounds like your father.
Yes, bro. And he was like an in-shape ass nigga too.
Yeah.
And he was like, see, that's why y'all look fucked up now. He's like, that's why y'all walk around here fucked up now. He was like, shit, all my shit I make at home. Like
these are things that I'm not. I can't say these things. I cannot say these things to the people I work with. Like, you would immediately be taken to HR. Like, nigga, what are you saying to these people that may have body dysmorphia or some shit?
Crying, laughing because like he's not a people person.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not a people person at all.
It gives you,
but he's very good at like getting things done.
Being a manager, a leader in some corporation, it helps the maturation stages for sure. Like you learn a ton of things, and so you're forced to learn a ton of things.
Oh yeah.
But there's definitely something that's great. I mean, it's not just something. I know exactly what the things are that are great about just the rise and fall of your career being solely based on your own merit, just your work alone, and not these other 10 people that work underneath you.
I was gonna say, and also you take a lot of probably a brunt of things.
Oh, I'm at the brunt of things
and shield your team. And take some shit and like you just gotta take it for
you. Kind of, I mean, if you're a real leader, you kind of have to.
Yeah, like
just like this thing happened. Y'all dropped the ball on this one day. It's like I take that responsibility.
Yeah, like
if I was better, that shit wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, or like because like they'll be the ones like they'll answer to the even higher ups, and he's like, I shield y'all from the bullshit, but like y'all get the praise when that's good shit. And he's like, that's what a good leader will do.
Yeah, for sure. You have to.
And he told me that he's like a lot of the shit. He's like, I take a lot of shit for these motherfuckers in here. He's like, well, that's what you do. So he was like a good leader, just not a good like
just people person.
Like like a great football coach.
Like again, I mean, at least he's probably working with. I don't know what the percentage is, but I'm certain like 98% of y'all are men.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and then so it's probably a ton of things that you wouldn't get from women as far as you have to be a bit, gingerly spoken with when it comes to women. Like you have to be a bit more considerate to what their experience is, like if they're feeling safe or not and why that's the case. Yeah. Because you can't.
But it's also because, like, we know the numbers thing is that the more men it is in one place, it's like the dumber.
It definitely gets dumber.
It gets very dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely gets dumber. Like, I mean, we can just, like, for instance, you and I are having a conversation right now.
Right.
And we've had conversations on here, and we know what it's like when we have a conversation. And then if you throw our friends Keon, Duty, Mikey, or RJ in there, it doesn't mean it's not fun.
No.
It just means it's stupider.
Yeah, which is funnier.
Yeah, it's just funnier. Yeah. Exactly. It's just going to go in a lot of other stupider areas. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Like when RJ was talking about the Special Olympics. And he was just like, yeah, but I feel like what if they feel like they don't want to do it that day? It's just like...
Like, what? What?
Like you can't hold them to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To that. Like, what if they don't want to do it that day? It's just like I don't know if it's like that.
I don't know. Like they
like if they just be dropping out. Like I feel like people in the Special Olympics are extremely driven. Just like people in the Olympics, like they're still
if they're at the Special Olympics,
they're still at the Special Olympics.
Weeded their way
because of dedication and perseverance and work ethic.
Yeah.
Like, unwavering work ethic.
Yeah.
They're not just like, oh no, I don't want to do it.
No.
I'm out of here.
Those people wouldn't make it to the Special Olympics. It's still the Olympics. It's just stay a little different.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I remember telling them, I was like, see, in that moment right there is what's beautiful about podcasting, because you are thinking in real time, but with microphones in front of you that's going to be broadcasted to people. Like, yeah, you say some dumb shit from time to time. That's just what's going to, you just got to be okay with that.
So, well, they don't want to do it that day.
I'm going to go back and we need to make a compilation of all the dumb things that I've said throughout the past 3 years.
Shit. Yeah, we got everything saved.
Yeah, no, we gotta go back, just like we do the moments.
Yeah,
we gotta go back.
There's so many moments
because I stopped caring so much.
Yeah. No. I'm saying that there's so many files I have saved to cook up another moments that it's almost like I have too many to select from.
It's unbearing.
Yeah, it's like
overbearing. I mean,
it's just like I don't even know where to start. I have started like the next one, but it's just like there's just so
for many moments for people that don't know or what do they call them now? Sus moments, moments in which a heterosexual man is saying something that could be misconstrued as a gay phrase.
Yeah. But for us, it's just funny because it's like, what?
Yeah, no, I stopped even thinking about it. So I would just start talking like a normal human being. And then.
But that's not a thing, I think, with every ethnicity.
It's not. It's a weird thing. The last thing I'll say again about this special classing before we move on to ethnicities, or if we're even going to, is that I asked a very pointed question. I was like, all right, I understand you're saying that legally speaking, there's going to be more rigmarole that you're going to have to go through if you fire a certain person, whether they're calling out for ageism and being like, they fired me because I'm old. Well, which is like, yeah, I kind of did. Mm-hmm. Because you're old as fuck and you can't do the job that I need you to do because you can't move, you can't lift stuff without falling over or huffing and puffing and wheezing. What are you talking about?
Also, people are getting good at suing.
I'm certain of it. Like all the information's out there.
I've worked with a woman who she was known to sue and win multiple times.
Damn.
From electrical contractors. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's she would contract people to come in and fix.
No, we work for contractors, electrical, electricians. As an electrician, it's weird.
All right, because you're a part of the union, so you go in through contractors and then go to the overall service provider.
I might be working. I don't say I work for this company. It's like I do work for this company.
Right.
So it's like right now I'm with this company.
Right.
But I know that tomorrow, if I don't feel like it, I can make it so I can go to another company.
Right.
So it's like you don't have any.
Like Sprint is going to be teaming up with Get It Done Right. And Get It Done Right is a contracting agency. And Get It Done Right reaches out to you all and says, hey, we need you guys to come work on this Sprint building.
Kinda, but it's like we're free agents.
But you're free agents. So and so you can be like, nah, I'm good. I got something. I'm doing something else. I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she knows how to get fired and go sue them for $40,000-$50,000.
Wow. Do you know at all what she's bringing to the court? What is her shtick? What is she saying?
To the court, I'm not sure, but I do know that she's gotten them for sexual harassment. Yeah. Because I think it's a case where she'll get a little, not friendly, but because guys are stupid. So guys will say stupid things and she won't check them, so she'll let them go far,
right?
And she'll get it recorded.
Yeah, she'll document.
Then she'll do whatever she wants, and then once somebody tries to fire her for being a bad employee, she'll be like, "Oh, really? Okay, okay,
okay."
Yeah,
so okay. Let me put the nail in the coffin on this one. So I had asked. Okay, so it seems as though if you're anything aside from a white male, you can get away with some degree of this. And the white male who was heading this meeting was like, yeah. And I'm like, what if, and keep in mind, there are 30 people in this class, so they're all listening to me ask these questions. I'm like, what if this white male happens to work for a company that isn't just comprised of a bunch of white males that would support and protect him? What if it's just a bunch of black people or Asian people or Hispanic people or whatever, or Indian people?
What you're describing now.
The white person is the minority.
You're describing the real world, Dave Chappelle version. Remember?
Right.
When he went in there, he was the only white dude. Everybody in the house was fucking tripping.
Yeah.
He was the only one that was normal. And they were fucking him up in the house.
And so I'm like, even if that person goes to court and he feels like they're wrongfully terminated, and they take it to court, and they're like, I think it had something to do with me being a white male.
It has to happen.
Yeah, it has to. If there were if there were Indian women in there for some reason, they didn't want white dudes in there. They just didn't rock with them for whatever reason. They wanted more people that look like them. They wanted to help out more minorities. You know that there are places. They're breakfast spots that I've heard of that are just that are close by. That are just we're only hiring women.
Oh yeah.
Like period. We're only hiring. This is a women ram shop.
There was a big thing, a big moment on the Twitter sphere last week before about all the different areas, like different jobs that were like, nah, we just hire women now. And it was, and they were like
nah, bro.
Yeah, it was places, bro, like morgues. Like morgues were like, nah, we just gonna be hiring women. Because niggas are just sick. Yeah, like it's like there's a bunch of places like certain gyms and like
men are nasty.
They're retarded.
Men are nasty. Yeah. That's a fact. I was having a conversation. See, this didn't ring true to me when I was having the conversation. I was talking to two middle-aged women the other day, one black, one white, and they were from DC, and they were asking me about like the dating world or how I fared with dating and my predicament now, all sorts of stuff like that, like my status now. And I was telling them, as I always tell people, that I enjoyed it. My mind was open and free to whatever the fuck was going on. I wasn't trying to put people in boxes and be like, the next person I date, like, you need to be my girlfriend. Like, it was just whatever. It'll come. Mm-hmm. And I was asking them how it was. Now, they were both married, but they would talk about their friends. And they said that they get this idea, because I must be so fucking detached. Because I was like, what? Like, what is going on? That because of this newfound information that there is so many more, I'm certain you've heard of this being on Twitter, single women than there are single men. For whatever reason.
Really?
Yeah, like there are more single women out there. So there's more availability for men to have women than there are for women to be choosing men, especially when it comes to
where, like the world, America, where? I know in certain countries it's like that.
I'm hearing about this in America, and and then she even brought it down to DC, right? So this is what I hear. Know. Yeah, I wouldn't even know about these numbers or why that's the case. Any of this sort of stuff. I can't even really think about it. Like, do you have a starting place to even think about?
I mean,
like without any research.
Know. It might have just been like us getting into our older selves, but there did seem to be like a switch at some point, like in my 20s.
I don't think I ever knew any of these sorts of statistics.
Not statistics. I'm just saying it seemed like at some point, like in the 20s, it seemed like we weren't the ones out there like chasing no more. It felt more like we were the chased. Okay. I get what you're saying. But like more of the feeling of just like kind of noticing that change happen. You're right. I don't know when that happened, but that something like that definitely did happen. Right? Yeah, something like that. Definitely. Because I remember definitely like in the teens, it was like, oh, I think a lot of it probably comes along with everything else, like social media. Like I'm certain there's some sort of link to that in just dating platforms. Yeah. Where you just had more availability, like you didn't have to go through the rigmarole. Like you sent us a fucking video the other day of some nigga on TikTok that was video recording a girl at a mall and was like trying to use that as like algorithms or what. I don't even quite understand what he's trying to do, but then the caption was like, please find her. And like posted it. And I don't know if he's trying to employ the help of other people to like find her on, so then he can slide into DMs. But that's weird because like one of the comments said like, what do you mean find her? She's right there. Just walk over to her and talk to her. But he's trying to use TikTok and use algorithms and comments and other people to like hook him up digitally with her. Like she's not right there. Real person. Like, so it's definitely a fucking weird place. But ultimately they were saying that they get the sense and their friends get the sense that men feel like women need them more than the men need the women because of the numbers of single people out there and because of just like the completely off balance ratio between men and women. And then I was like, I don't know if that holds it. That doesn't seem quite right to me. Then I'm at the gym yesterday and I'm talking to this nigga I've known for a long time. I see him every now and again. And he's talking to me about the women he's with and the women that he's cheating on his women with, and right, and he invests a lot of time into
having sex with different women. It's like a lot of his time. But he was like, I mean, you know, like when women get with us, man, you know, like they get the security, they get the money, like they get these things, like they're put in a good position. And what do we get from them? Just some used pussy? And I was just like,
go fuck a nigga then. Come up.
Come up.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
But I was just like,
you know
that's a very, very maladaptive and unsophisticated way of having a relationship with another.
That's all. It's like, nigga, who like?
It's some of that. It's some of who are you fucking with, but it's also maybe you don't even realize everything that this person brings to your life. So you're just looking at them like they're a doll.
That too.
Like you're just fucking them. Yeah. Like that's legitimately as an adult, not a young teenager. Like as an adult, you believe that the person that you've been with for 9-10 years now.
Oh, he's saying that about who he's been with?
Yeah. What's funny is it really don't even fucking matter. Like
because if that person isn't bringing you anything, whose fault is that?
Yeah, because
that's like me driving a car and being mad at the car for 10 years. Like, man, this car ain't shit. Like, nigga.
No, you're right. I think he was speaking about the side person, and the reason I'll say that is because he was talking real fast, like rambling off. But I think he was saying that because he, this is funny to say, broke up with his side because she started having sex with someone else. So he was just like, oh, nah, like, that ain't how we getting down. Like, fuck all that. Like, you either fucking just me or we ain't doing it. And she was like, but you have a whole, like, wife. Like, that's fucked up. And he was just like, it don't matter.
Okay.
And he was just like, nah, man, like, that's just the way it is. Like, we don't got to explain nothing. Like, if they not with it, then we not fucking with it. Like, that's it.
Is he cheating or is he allowed to do that?
No, he's cheating. And I'm glad that you asked, and I'm glad you asked that question because that is a very important question. Yeah. Because always having sex with someone else or having any sort of intimate situation with someone else isn't always cheating. But yes, he is cheating. He's cheating.
He's cheating.
His wife don't know nothing about that. Don't want nothing about that. He's cheating.
Good luck.
It's crazy, man. Sometimes
good luck because you might get struck, and then you're gonna be out here having to fuck with all them Jones who you claim they ain't bringing nothing to you.
Remember, good luck. Like there's this person we know that that cheats on their wife incessantly. And in order to do it, sometimes like they'll do it like in a truck,
like an old nasty ass van, fucking bang bus.
so they'll go to places that their wife is expecting them to be.
Yeah, and the phone
because they know that their wife will check up on them, like drive to places and see if their car is there. Yeah, like they're in that sort of relationship, constantly calling them, like checking it, where you at, what are you doing? And then not only that, but once I get off the phone with you, I'm driving to make sure you're at that place. So he'll go to that place and be there, but just be in the van fucking. How crazy of a mind fuck for you as the completely untrusting significant other to pull up to the gym to see if your significant other is actually there, like the car is there, and you see it and you're like, all right, he's there, and you drive off, but you have no idea that if you had X-ray vision, like if you could see, or I guess not X-ray, I wouldn't look through that, would it? No, you need X-ray to see through. I mean, just everything.
They call it X-ray, but it's probably like some other ray.
Right. So, but being able to see through the metal of that van, and then you're like, oh. Yeah, he's here, but he's actually in the back of the van, but you have no idea. You actually think that he's not in the van, he's in the place. That's fucking crazy, but that's a fact. But either way, he's talking to me about all these things, and I'm like, okay, maybe she was right. Maybe there is some large group of men, some large body of men that believe that, like, now we're in the position to sit back but because he said that too. He was like, yeah, man, I heard that like we're getting to a place where like they're going to be like 8 women per man. Right. Like every man can have 8 women. I was like, oh, this nigga seemed excited. Like he's trying to get in on that.
To me, it always, I mean, the numbers are the numbers, but to me, it always comes down to where are you finding these people on both sides? Right. Where are you meeting these people and coming to this conclusion that they're all thinking the same way? Because if all these people, you're meeting them at like similar places, maybe this the place. Like maybe that's not the place to find the kind of person you're looking for.
That's not the breeding ground.
Yeah, for like people get online and they're like, man, all these people are the same. It's like, bro, maybe they're not online.
Yeah, because they're definitely
get get off the internet. Then that's not where you're gonna find them.
Anytime anyone tells me that all people are the same of any walk of life, I'm like, you're telling me something very specific about yourself.
Exactly.
Which is that you have no insight into the variability of human beings.
Keep going to the same lake and standing on different sides and trying to catch a different fish. My nigga, go to a different lake. Like, get off the lake.
That's a good way of putting it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Because you're taking in the same thing, but from different perspectives, thinking
like,
you're doing something new.
This one's probably different. Like, her profile, she said she like this, you know. She only got this many followers. She only like that, so, you know.
But the overall thing is...
Same lake.
Yeah. I've been interested in seeing... Because this is an interesting one. Like, if you're online, if you're on social media, and you like to show like your ass as much as possible, and you got little tassels on your titties, and like you're clearly like you're signaling something, right? Like you really like this stuff,
right?
I'm certain this is going to be some sort of conversation similar to makeup use. Because there's the whole, I just do it for myself. I don't do it for nobody else. And it's like, maybe.
That's fine.
There's definitely questions to get into that to really make sure, like, if that's really the case, because there's probably some degree in which you're doing it to signal something to someone. Like, it's not just, because if it was really just solely for you, do you just simply wear this in the house all the time, or do you take makeup off?
Yeah.
So when you're alone, you take makeup off. Why not? Why don't you keep it on for you?
Yeah.
Why do you put it on when you leave the house? I mean, okay, all right. That's one question to ask. But the tooting the ass up, and along with all this other extra shit. By the way, whatever happened to? It's funny how these little like periods move. Whatever happened to the ass on the sink thing? Like,
it's still?
Oh, that's still a thing?
Still a thing.
Okay, I haven't seen it as much recently. I usually see just the turnaround. You know, they figured out how to do the same thing when they just turn and like, just, do the little calf raise that supposedly lifts up. I saw someone do that in real life. Did I tell you that?
No.
Like, someone actually did that to me in real life. I was looking at them. We were having a conversation. They turned around and was like looking back at me and did that pose that pokes your butt out with like your leg extended out.
It's funny as hell when you notice things. You like, especially when you know body language and you notice things and you're like, they really just did that.
Yeah, like, oh fuck, they just did that pose that I see all the time online.
Yeah. You wonder, like, I wonder if they did that like consciously or subconsciously.
Bro, that stance is so extra.
Yeah, like
you're in a whole pyramid pose. Like you have to do a lot for that. You're on the ball of your foot. Like it's that's a lot. What was I talking about? Women on Instagram. Oh yeah, so signaling and putting all this information out there as a single person, interesting, but I understand what you're signaling. But when people are in committed relationships with people and they continue to do that, I'm like, all right, is there a conversation behind closed doors about this? Or like, is it the thing where maybe they're allowed to do it because of whatever their relationship is? Is the question like, why do you do it? Like, are you trying to garner any money from this? Are you about to start an OnlyFans page? Or is this just art to you? Is it that type of conversation we're having? What are we doing?
The conversation is like a real thing, but at the same time, if you chose to pursue that person, you saw what they do. So it's like, if they continue to be that person, that's who you chose. You chose that person. It's like I saw there was a porn star that gave an interview and she's like, it's hard for her to keep a boyfriend because at some point they all end up doing the same thing. They all end up flipping and like they hate it and they're like, you got to choose either porn or me. And it's like, I'm choosing porn. No, you're dating a porn star. Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. No, yeah.
You know.
So this is the reason why I brought up money, because it's slightly different than, because you're talking about someone's livelihood. Like, yo, I've been making money. I've been porn starring for 10 years, nigga. You not fitting to come around and save me. Yeah. I've been saved. Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. Nigga, you need to be saved. Right. So I understand that. But if your significant other does not have a following, does not make money this way, like they just want to put titties and ass or whatever the fuck the case is, like they're just trying to thirst trap online, that's a different conversation. Because like you're not really getting anything from this.
No.
So what? So what are you getting? Because you're getting something. I just don't know what it is.
And that should be the conversation in the beginning.
Right.
That should be figured out before you decide. Oh, I'm about to pursue this.
That's true.
That way, if you get an answer beforehand, you know whether or not the behavior should, I guess, change in your mind.
Yeah.
Because if they're telling you, no, I'd like to do this, and you don't expect it to change then.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're telling you, like, no, I'm just trying to, like, put myself out there to find somebody. So then if it doesn't change, then you can kind of bring it up. Like, hey, I thought that...
you found someone, right?
Yeah,
like me?
So what's going on? But at the same time...
what's going on?
Yeah.
What's going on? Yeah, you got to do. That's a real fucking thing, man. I could only imagine the amount of like issues that go on with that. And then you got people they're fucking upset and will beat the shit out of you because you did some shit like that, or or they feel like. I mean, if someone gets a hold of, because chances are, if they're as controlling as the type of person that is going through some of our minds right now, even having these conversations, they may have, as we have seen in the past, access to your accounts. Mm-hmm. And if they see things that they don't like in the comments or in DMs for certain, or maybe you responded in a way that they don't fucking like at all. Now we're in a different ball game. Now we're introducing the possibility of heavy violence into what's going on. Because again, people are fucking wild out here, and you have no idea what's going on in anyone's mind ever. Every single day, I'm learning some shit about someone that is in my proximity in life. It just blew my mind. Like, oh, this guy was homeless for 2.5 months. No idea. Just been walking past them every day for the past 6 months.
That's crazy.
Just been homeless. Just found this out. Craziness. Oh, this other person. Go ahead.
Homeless now isn't like homeless.
It's different.
10 years ago.
Okay.
Like you could you can navigate and be homeless and look just the same. I was reading another thing about that, how like just not having a home where you sleep isn't really homeless anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're homeless, but like the
connotation that comes with that
start changing.
Yeah.
You start thinking like dirty old bum, like you know what I'm saying? Walk around dirt bag.
Yeah.
Like
dirt bag.
You know what I mean?
Is a wild term.
Because now there's people, you might just have a car, and every other day you pay $50 to go get a room, clean up, wash yourself up, but you're eating every day. Yeah,
you have a job, like you're going somewhere. Yeah.
Sometimes
you have a car.
You're stacking up money, so then if it's a little cold, I'm gonna go get a room for a week.
Yeah.
There's people who are doing that, especially in big cities like San Francisco, where like they're making like way more than what you would think. They would have a home out here. But out there, like, there's dudes out there, like, I'm reading stories, motherfuckers making 6 figures but living in their cars. Because it's just...
Wait, because it's just what?
Because of, like, the cost of living in those places is ridiculous.
6 figures and you can't find a place to... Get the fuck out of here. I do not believe that if you're making 6 figures,
it's not that
you can't find a place to live.
It's not that you can't. It's just they weigh their options, and instead of commuting like 3 hours a day, they're like, I'm gonna just post up in my car.
Oh yeah,
and just make it work. I mean, it's not like
it's
not like dirt bag.
Yeah, it's
homeless.
not dirt bag. You just
don't own a home.
Yeah, I just don't own a home. Yeah, I get that. No, I would if I was gonna do that, I just want to optimize it. That's all. So I would just need a van, like something I can lay down in and get comfortable. And
like people converted vehicles.
Yeah,
and they go wash up at certain places but they just don't have a home.
Yeah, I've seen a guy like that. I go to Lidl sometimes to grab some produce, and this guy sitting out there in his big ass brown van, and he does everything in there. I've seen him.
I work with a guy like that.
His teeth, and he
had a van that he converted over into like a
little home.
Yeah, and when I was in Alexandria with my last project, that's where he was there for months. Like he would just, and I didn't know it until like January, and they're like, yeah, he lived in a parking lot, and I looked at him. Oh damn, there go the van. I was like, oh he do live here, and I was like,
yeah,
I wouldn't park at work because then I got to be at work every day.
I don't want to park at work.
Nigga, I see you. Like, you better bring your ass on in here.
Yeah, I would try to probably, if I was homeless, I'd try to spend as much time. That's tough. It's very.
It depends on what level of homeless though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it does depend on the
End
level
of the day
of homelessness.
I can go south. I can just pretend like the world ended and just try to live off land.
When I was in Maui,
Water.
there were these this I forgot exactly what the court was called, but it was just one block that was taken up by this big ass banyan tree, which is like these very, very thick ass trees that just grow. I mean, it's insane. They actually have to put up posts around the block because their branches are so heavy and so long that they need something to hold them up. So it covers the entirety of a block, this tree. It's a big ass tree with wild extensions, and you know, a lot of foliage. Yep. So a lot of homeless people go to that block to get shade from the fucking sun, and it's a wild tourist area, so people run into shops and steal shit. Like I saw a theft take place when I was in one of the tourist shops. Someone ran in there and like grabbed like a hat and a shirt or whatever and ran out, and it was one of the homeless people that the locals know. And the local just like ran them out of there and was just like, get the fuck out of here, don't ever come back here again. Like a little Asian woman screaming at her. Yeah, man, like, you know, it's there are a lot of different ways to do homeless. But you definitely need, if you're somewhere hot, you need to get somewhere cool. If you're somewhere cool, you want to try to get somewhere with some heat. You know, you definitely want to try to figure out food on a daily basis, clothing.
Them tribes are homeless? Or are they?
Oh, right, the tribes. See, the tribes are different.
Are they homeless? Nope.
No, they're not homeless. Like, they have a home.
I'd be making my way to one of them.
Whether to go try to find some indigenous group somewhere in the valley.
I wouldn't just be walking up on them. You know, they would see me for a while. They'd see me over a year or two collecting fish from over here. You know, eventually they'd be like they, you know, signal me over. I'd make contact. I'd get in the
Once
truck.
They realize that you'd be like a firm asset in the group, like, let's bring them over.
I might catch a bunch of fish and leave them at their doorstep.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good way.
Work my way into the group.
That'd be a good way to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't just be out here walking around Concrete City.
See, yeah, because that's the thing about being homeless. Like, they have a tribe.
Yeah,
homeless people aren't necessarily.
They have tribes too, which is funny.
And if you do, then that's probably one of the more successful homeless groups.
Yeah, there's one right here in the city. I don't know if it's still up. It was right around the corner, right? A little tent. There was like a little tent city right here in Manassas.
Oh, I don't know. I see so many people these days now.
Yeah. Back in the woods, right around the corner, man. They all just bunched up, all get their tents together and just survive together.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I would definitely build a community because you need. I was just talking. It was so funny. I don't know if you noticed this or not at all. I just recorded a pod before you came.
I got the email on my way over, and I was like, "When did you record it?" And he's like,
literally from like 1:45 to like 30 minutes before you got here.
Doing it. Just talking.
But that person was talking to me about like they're a physical therapist and. Like they're coming up through school with a bunch of physical therapists and they're all trying to learn this stuff and get through all these practical exams together, and they come together and help each other move up.
We do too in our little apprenticeship.
Yeah, see, and the same thing with the Avengers. You're people from the fucking CrossFit gym. It's the same thing. When you come together, it's much easier to get shit working. But if you're trying to do this shit alone.
Same thing when we said the world ended, you're gonna have to. They're gonna have to link up. The people who are not trying to link up, they're gonna end up starving. Because if you get injured out here, what happens? What happens? You out there hunting, fucking twist your ankle, bro. And you wanted to be by yourself so bad. Now you just twisted your ankle in the woods. Shit, damn near broke. You didn't get no food that day, and you got to go 10 miles back to whatever little hut you.
That's a huge part of. See, that's an extremely pro-adaptive quality is being likable.
Yeah.
Being able to have people around you. Because, again, we've known people that would have been in a different place in their career in status if they just weren't so just like greedy and just like mean.
I did this.
Just like super rambunctious and just showy and gaudy and just burning bridges at every turn. That shit goes a long way, man. Like if you just, I think about it all the time. Like in customer service, people don't understand this. They think that if you're mean and like you're defiant and you're firm and you're like, no, I need this, or no, you know who my dad is, or like if they're being a Karen of sorts, that they're gonna get what they want because they see that work. And like that, it works, but it's not for longevity though. Like you can do that 1-2 times. Like you can go to different places and be an asshole. Like you can be a psychopath. Yeah. In a place, but how long can you be a psychopath in one community before the community figures out you're a psychopath and they all distance themselves from you? So you can only do that shit, but for so long, you're gonna have to continue to move from place to place where people don't know you, right? So if you're an unpleasant person, it just doesn't work for longevity's sake. You might be an asshole and get your way a few times, but if it's post-apocalyptic out here, or you're homeless now, or whatever the fuck the thing is, the wind is no longer aiding your sails on your boat. It's no longer at your back. Now life is twisted and you're in a fucked up position. Now what? Exactly. When your only true resource could have been the connections that you made with other human beings, because you don't got nothing else now. So now what? Don't nobody fuck with you because when you was up, you was a fucking asshole. Yeah. And now that you down, what? Now you want to be nice now?
Yeah. Now you ask.
That's tough.
All right. What you just said.
It's tough.
What you just said about being a psychopath, like in a community, before the community starts to realize. So that's some funny shit's been happening with somebody we know in their neighborhood.
Okay.
I mean, it's Mo's neighborhood. He's not gonna care about this shit.
Okay.
So somebody moved into his neighborhood recently, maybe for about a month. It's a woman, 2 small children. I think he said that kids are no older than 6, so like 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 at the most. He said that like a lot of erratic shit's been happening to where like the middle of the night, the lady will just be all the lights on in the house, walking back and forth, pacing. Real fast in the house.
Like he can just see a silhouette behind the curtains.
See her, like,
he actually sees the person.
All the lights on, windows blinds up.
Blinds are up.
Walking back and forth, pacing. They'll go just get in the car and just sit in the car for like 4 hours, or just get in the car in the middle of the night and just leave by themselves. Or one time she came home and just got out the car. Kids were still in the car. She just went in the house, and after like an hour, the kids finally got out the car and went in the house. Wait
a minute, because this nigga Mo's clearly a detective, because he's watching this whole thing for like an hour or so play out.
Well, it's like directly across the street from his house. So and he noticed like that person just moved in, and like so he just noticed the small things that are like just kind of off, and like other neighbors are noticing small things, like she's left her car doors wide open for like hours, and just went in the house, and they're like, what the fuck is going on over here? And then, but what really got him was that for the police just pulled up to her house one day, like it was like 4 or 5 police cars. The lights weren't on, so there wasn't like an emergency call. But they pulled up and they were just there with a K9, and they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And so, I think yesterday. So Mo called the non-emergency number yesterday. It might have been yesterday, because like she had it was something weird. Like doors were just open for like hours. He was just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. And when he called the officer on the phone, dispatch was like, "Oh, that address, okay." Send somebody out. Cop came out, talked to her. So the person just talked to the police officer from the door and was like, you close it. So the cop just closed her doors to her car and then left, and she closed her front door, and then that was it. But so we were having this long discussion, right? Because RJ was like, "Why are you calling the cops? Maybe that's just how she gets down. Like maybe that's just how she moves." And then I was like,
okay.
I was like,
that's a perspective.
I was like, my nigga, I don't know. It's a little weird. You just hop out the car, leave the kids in the car, and run in the house. It's a lot of erratic. I was like, it's not like she's breaking the law, right? But it's something that makes you think, is there something going on? It's something like, is she on something? Is she something wrong mentally? And I was telling him, I was like, I feel like Manassas City police they're not the kind of police that have like the bad rep. Like I wouldn't think they're just gonna pull up shooting niggas or just taking kids.
I don't.
Not Manassas City. Not Manassas City police. Like I kind of trust them to at least make contact and decide, and just at least try, right?
Yeah.
But Artie's like, nah, man, I ain't calling no cops. Fuck all that shit. Like,
damn.
He's like, man, fuck that, man. Like, right?
But damn.
Then we asked Mo. I was like, hold on, Mo. I have a very important question. Like, what? I was like, is she black? He was like, no. And RJ's whole stance changed. He was like, oh yeah, that's some weird shit going on. I was like, so the whole time he had thought that it was a black lady. He's like,
for whatever reason, because I didn't put anything to this one.
I know you didn't.
Yeah.
And he was like, no. He was like, I thought maybe she's like a black lady. Maybe she just, goes in the car and smokes a little weed while the kids are in the house or something.
Oh.
He was like, maybe it's how she get down. And he's like,
Oh my God, nigga. You fucking... This nigga, man. Come on, bro. That's how you going out, RJ? Nah, man. We can't do that.
I ain't calling the cops on her, bro. Like, fuck that.
Oh, now you... Oh.
But then he's like, man, am I racist?
Yes. Listen, if you're not, we have to just... All we have to do is just admit when you have a moment.
Yeah.
Like, that's a moment. Yeah. That's not okay.
No.
Like you have to at least just check that. You need to check that.
But
I'll send him a text and let him know.
But like once he said that, I was like, I get what he was imagining, what was happening. But to me, I didn't imagine. Like, this is the description of what was going on. I'm imagining somebody either smoking meth or somebody smoking crack.
Or just some wild mental illness that hasn't been checked by anyone.
I said that too. I was like, or it's just a mental illness that maybe somebody just needs to check in with them.
Yeah.
And I was like, but something's off. He's like, nah, man, this is how she get down.
Nah, bro, nah. Especially when it comes to community, there is a balance between, like, when you move into a place, there is a balance between... Like, what is your participation in someone else's life?
And multiple people from the neighborhood had already called.
See, that's the thing.
From different instances that they had saw that Mo hadn't seen. So it was like, people were noticing weird shit going on.
Right.
So the community was just like, nah, something's off over here.
Yeah, something's off. Yeah. And do you wait? Because you're right. She's not necessarily, from what I understand from the stories you just told, and from what I understand about law, which ain't shit. Yeah. She's not breaking any laws.
Oh. She didn't break any law.
Like, you don't have to. It's probably, I'll tell you what.
But it's like,
I don't know if it's breaking laws, but it's like law breaking adjacent. Like, it's because
this was the summertime.
Because the children, right?
If it was summertime,
it gets different.
That could have been a way different story.
It gets different because now you've left the kids in the car.
And that's all I was. I was like, nah, I definitely probably would have called. Once I saw that, I'd have been like,
unattended.
Somebody need to go figure out something's going on.
Because do you have to break the law in order for child services to get involved? Because
child services, I think it works more off of like a numerous, like it's like a file. They don't just
numerous occurrences of you being negligent.
Yeah, we'll make a note of that. We'll make a note of that. Once they have enough notes, it's like we might want to send somebody over just to go interview and just talk to her for like an hour or two.
Someone might want to send someone over there to talk to her,
and just talk to her,
and just look around.
Yeah, just look around.
Because if all of this is happening outside the house, there is some weird. Like, if we get to walk through that house, we're gonna point some weird shit out.
Man, we talk to the kids. What's mommy like? What? And then you talk to them.
Yeah, just talk to them.
Yeah,
they're gonna tell you the truth.
Yeah, that's it. And I was like,
and then talk to mommy and look in mommy's eyes.
Right. And I was like, as a person who knows substances, you would, like, the cop would be able to look at him like, that's not a sober person. But I can't just take them to jail just because they high on crack in the house.
Yeah. But it is an occurrence that you can document and have enough of those. Yeah. I think at this point in time, someone might need to just roll by and just do a quality check.
That's it.
See what's going on over there.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
pretty.
Sure it's headed that way.
That's pretty fucking wild. But you don't want to wait till it gets to a point because, again, it's just weird. It's not wildly violent. Nope. It's not super disruptive.
Super weird.
But if something happens 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, that's crazy. Exactly. You're just like, oh, damn, we could have.
In the middle of July, it's only March right now.
Right. And you said this person just moved in not too long ago.
Yeah, like a month ago.
Yeah. Oh, see, come on. That's way too much data for a month's time.
That's what we were saying. But
that's a long rap sheet for a month, my nigga.
The thing is that he said he completely changed his stance.
That's crazy.
He was like, y'all was right. He was like, nah, that's some weird shit. I was like, nigga.
That's so funny. That to him, because to him, he's putting all of these, like, familiar black attributes to these cases, and so he's like, oh, she might just be stepping out smoking a little bit of weed, or maybe she likes the door open, you know what I mean, just get a little bit of air inside. Like, he's coming up with all this extra shit.
That's how she get out. They grown. They get out the car.
You know, she's pacing back and forth in there because she's trying to figure out how to fucking get past this oppression that we all feeling. Like, you know what I mean, nigga? She need to pace back and forth, nigga. We all pacing.
Why she can't pace back and forth for her
Where
house?
was you during the riots, nigga? Now we're talking about a whole
exactly. You know what I'm saying? Man.
That's so funny, man. He's a sweet guy.
Yeah. I didn't care what race it was. I was just going to attribute that drug to that race. That's all I was going to do.
Yeah, it's funny when you just notice people because again we know him, so we know he's like he means well.
Yeah, we know he means well because he was thinking, man, they're gonna take the kids. I was like, bro, they're not just gonna take the kids for no reason.
Yeah, bro, they're gonna go in there and take the kids. Maybe they need to take them fucking kids. How about that? The kids always being there isn't always the best. I know that there's a lot of popular belief that people need. You can talk to I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of people that stayed together in their marriage or relationship for the kids.
And
but their relationship fucking sucked, and so all the kids ever got to see was a fucked up ass relationship.
They're not gonna take the kids forever off rip. They're gonna be like, look, how about you go get a little help for like a week or two, you know, and we gonna help you through this because you know we don't want these kids, you know.
Right, we don't. Yeah, right. Like we don't need to take care of any more kids. Like we would like for the kids to be with the mom.
Yeah, you got
but we'd also like for you to act right.
Yeah, you got a whole house,
and to not have this entire cul-de-sac of human beings calling us weekly.
Yeah,
4 weeks, 30 days.
It's crazy.
And various people have called us about various incidents.
And Mo's like, his neighbors have come up to him like, bro, what's up? Like, what's going on over here? Because his house is directly across. So,
see, but RJ is also a weird nigga for this too. There was a time when I think someone got shot outside of his house.
I remember this,
and I think he didn't see somebody pull out a gun and shoot someone, but like
I remember this.
But he was up there and he saw like a skirmish. He saw some shit happen and someone get in a car that was clearly the perpetrator and like get out of there. He knew what the car looked like, everything. Like he could describe this perfectly to any authority. And he said that he saw the police start pulling up and some people from the community coming around and talking. And he said, he got right up and walked right back in the house. He was like, nigga, I wasn't finna do none of that shit. I'm pretty certain that's what he said. Like, nigga, I'm not getting into none of that shit. And I'm pretty certain dude, he was like, yeah, nigga, like, you better take your ass to that fucking house. Don't get involved in none of that shit. Like, you don't know what the fuck them niggas got. Who knows who's gonna tell who what, and who gonna come back here to do something.
I heard it was that big nigga was the one that I saw him talking to the police. I heard it was because he, you know.
Right. And, you know, so you just like, nigga, I don't get involved in none of that. And I'm like, you know, it's funny because we come from a place where people are like, no snitching, don't tell on no one, don't trust the police, don't get involved in nothing, none of that sort of stuff. But you, out of the community that you lived in, you would want a community that comes together to solve problems, especially when it comes to violence, like gun shootings in your neighborhood where your kids may be running around playing or some shit like that. Like, you want to have people involved in that.
Right.
So when people just like, man, fuck that shit, I'm going, they don't need to, look, they heard it from them. They don't need to hear it from me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about that. I don't know if I'm running down there to go find the police.
Officer.
Like I don't know if I'm doing that in every instance, but I'm also not. I don't have an aversion towards speaking.
But I mean,
to
at the same time, it might also be like a numbers thing. You're thinking, what are the chances that they actually go catch them versus that person catching wind that I was trying to talk to the cops? Like,
I don't think that. I think that that's a hyperbolized romantic way of looking at it, that they're going to find out that this person for some reason is so linked in. They so blooded, nigga. Like they just know. They was
over here.
Like, nigga, if I know something about criminals is they stupid.
Yeah, that's the
they're
main thing.
Not masterminds.
You out there shooting in a neighborhood. You retarded.
Broad daylight.
You shooting after an argument in a neighborhood. You retarded.
And we know people that, and I just found this out about the people, I'm just gonna call them Martimar, that was a part of hitting a lick, like a home invasion years ago. We know this person, and it was two other people. One of the people was wearing
goddamn years.
Shut the fuck up.
60 years, 80 years. Yeah, they got sentenced.
For armed. Oh wait, no, the guy died. Wait, they shot
nigga
the guy
died.
that they were trying to rob,
and his dad was a member of law enforcement out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that information.
Elderly, you coming home? Elderly, if you come home.
But the reason I think about this is because it was 3 gentlemen that went to go make a home invasion.
Yes.
And I know at least one of the guys. You may know more, so at least of the other 2 guys.
Mm-hmm. And a girl.
Oh, and a girl involved.
The girl
in it.
that didn't go was part of the planning, and you getting 50, 60 years. I'm not even.
Oh my!
How old you are?
Fucking God! That's just so much time.
Think about how old you are right now.
Oh, 32? I'm 32. I can't do 50. I can't do Judge, I can't do 50.
I'm about to go to the bathroom real quick.
You go. Oh no, not 50 years. That's the rest of my life, Judge. Oh, fuck. That is like it's 60 years is everything that I've already done on this planet again. Like
what? Do it all again.
Hey, how funny would it be if the judge was talking to people like that? Hey, all that shit you done, do that shit again, but do it in there. That's crazy.
No, you gotta do all that shit again and then again.
Oh my God! You're right, you have to do it twice over, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, bro. Yeah. Going to prison like that is crazy. It'll never happen to me. No. And a lot of it being because when I hear these stories about people, this is the most recent one we've heard of. Like, I think of what went into the planning, or if there was any planning, because I hear about this stuff and I'm like, one of the 3 perpetrators was wearing an ankle monitor because he was on probation. Mm-hmm. An ankle monitor. Did no one, when they were sitting around the round table,
Google,
like,
what does this ankle monitor monitor?
I mean, fuck the Google. He was clearly
already in trouble,
charged for something and in trouble, and they gave him this. Say they told him what it was they were putting on his ankle, and he went to go commit a crime. Robbed armory, in which they ended up actually shooting. And did they killed the guy? He died.
Yeah. Supposedly, it's either it was the wrong house, or
I heard that it was the wrong house. That they scaled the wrong house. Like they scoped out the wrong house, went in the wrong house. So did they actually even kill the guy that they were meaning to, or was this a completely different house and they shot?
They were trying to go into a house where the person inside was not going to be home.
Right.
And they knew supposedly a large amount of money was going to be in a safe.
Right.
And they couldn't find this. They couldn't find it. So when they ran out, the person came home and was like, "Hey, yo!" And maybe he was startled. Maybe he was armed. Maybe I don't know if he was or not.
That's faulty.
But they shot him.
But they shot him and he died.
Shot him. He died. And in the scuffle to get up out of there and get everything out of there, the motherfucker dropped his phone. And that's how they caught them.
I also was missing that detail as well. Yep, they dropped the phone.
There's a very bigger chance that they may not have ever.
No, I also heard that they got caught on camera from like one of those cameras, like in your doorbell or whatever, from across the street. I forget what those doorbells are called or whatever.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they got caught with that. And again, there's the ankle monitor that has to be taken into account. There's a ton of shit.
Yeah.
But I just say all that to say, these criminals are not masterminds. Like they don't think about things.
No.
Because if I was ever to commit a crime, do you understand how long I would be thinking about this? Like it would be years. Yes. I would be putting together a plan because I'm not taking any chances.
That's why I know I can't commit like a bank robbery type of crime, because I always think about how can I get caught. And when I think about that, there's ways that I could. When I think about how I can catch myself. Mm-hmm. I can't beat that, and I'm like, oh well, I can't get it done because I can see a result where niggas catch me because I would do this, and so it's like it's almost like I work against myself. So it's like, I could never do it.
That's probably that's a great mind to have.
You know what I mean?
It's a mind that keeps you from robbing banks.
Yeah,
so that's great. It's like, you know what? This isn't a good idea. Like, this isn't going to happen.
I always come up with what ifs. I was like, damn, but what if? Well, can't do that.
That's why you would need an elaborate plan, because we forget.
Yeah.
that there are real thieves in the world that have robbed museums, robbed banks, and no one knows who they are. They got away.
Yeah.
Like they're legit. They're legit top flight thieves of the world that are just out there living.
There's one
like kings and queens
right now. This is a wild fucking story that's probably going to end up as a movie or at least documentary. The Kansas City Chiefs football team. Their most popular fan, his name is Chiefsaholic. He's known for going to every single Chiefs game.
His name is Chief.
Not his real name.
Oh, I was like, did he change his name to Chief?
That's what he's known as. Online. Chiefsaholic. He wears like a wolf mask, Chiefs jersey, and he's at all the games. And throughout the seasons, he had been telling everybody, "Yeah, I'm a sports gambler. Like I'm nice with like sports gambling. That's how I can afford this shit." Last year, I think it was November, the nigga got arrested. He just disappeared. Stopped going to games. Wasn't active on social media. Come to find out, they found his mugshot. The nigga got arrested for robbing banks. He was a bank robber the whole time. Right? They finally let him out. Chiefs won the Super Bowl. But I think over the past weekend, the nigga just cut off his ankle bracelet. Now he's on the run. They can't find the nigga.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow, man. Living a life of crime must be so exciting. I mean, it must be.
I'm trying to
It's, bro, fuck yeah. Like, if you're sitting down in your home when you're usually, cooking up some Randall linebacker, taking care of your child, Maven, or whatever. You're living a normal ass life.
Yeah.
But just thinking, instead of doing that, you're at home legitimately, not just having like some passing fun thought, like legitimately coming up with a plan to rob someone or a bank or whatever the case is. Like, that's exciting. That's an exciting fucking project. You better be excited about it. You need to be excited about that because you need to be engaged with that process. Again, it would have to be so much planning. I need to know every variability that I possibly could of like what is going to happen. What time do these people leave their houses? Where do they go? How far do they go when they go there? Like just surveillance of the place. Like, where are there cameras around here? Like, do I know if anyone has any of those fucking doorbell video cameras or whatever? Because that's
what can that shit read?
Yeah, because you're just focused on the house you're gonna rob, but the house across the street is like just watching you the whole time, just recording everything that you're doing. So it's like there's so much that you have to take into account if you're to commit any crime. For me, because I'm not fucking with jail. I'm not, bro. I'm just not, man. But people take these penitentiary chances. Yeah. They take these penitentiary chances. And we just know someone. Yeah. Yep. And that's rough. And I think a lot of it is novelty. Because some of these people be good. But it's like, that's why I say the exciting part. Because you thinking, man, I'm about to be flying overseas. I'm going to be moving this pack. I'm out here. You know what I mean? Right. Like you
overseas, all right.
There's like this, this notoriety, this level of just badassness to, I'm doing what the fuck I want to do and I'm making money doing it. I'm living outside the boundaries.
There's just a lot of thought there's something put into.
It's sexy.
So there's a lot
like
of
the Ocean series. I love that movie. Oceans 11, 12, 13, all the Ocean. Yeah, even fucking Oceans 9 or 8 or whatever the fuck it was. That was the newest one with the women. I love that one too.
Yep.
It's something sexy about being like a dope ass criminal. Like a criminal that doesn't hurt people but makes a lot of money as a sexy criminal. Like it seems sexy to do.
We know another one like that.
Where they were doing something illegal.
I don't know if you read the text that day.
I may not have.
Yeah. The rat homie.
Okay.
Did you see those texts that day?
No.
Where I found them? Nigga.
What's going on with the rat homie? I know who you're talking about. We're talking about the person that was flinging rats through the sky. Yeah.
Nigga.
I'm so glad that I don't know what you're talking about. What happened?
I got a notification. I still have JPay on my phone because people from jail will like contact you through JPay.
That's so funny.
So I was like, damn, he locked up.
How many people do you talk to in jail? Okay.
So he was like, I'm like, damn. So I'm like, what the fuck you do? Like, what you locked up for? So of course, JPay takes days. So I just search his name because he has a very unique name. Very unique name. There's not
JPay takes days to transfer money through.
No, to transfer messages. Like it's not like a text.
It has to go through some sort of filter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I searched his name, and he was arrested in Los Angeles, Beverly Hills, 2021 for like all kind of extra shit.
But robbery.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Beverly Hills,
grand larceny, theft. Just stealing shit.
Grand larceny is that's over a certain amount, like 10,000 probably.
Yeah, over a certain amount. But like he would happen to be in Beverly Hills, and it looked like he had other charges out there. So he was out there for a couple years, and it looks like during the pandemic. And we started putting things together. We were like, bro, what if when he got out over here, he did what he normally does, hopped on one of them PPPs, and was out there in Los Angeles, living wild. But he was in Beverly fucking Hills. I know he wasn't out there homeless. Came up because he when he was over here, he came up big. He just got caught again. He did that just off of just breaking into places and just finding documents and coming up with fucking identities and $10,000 credit cards. I'm like, nigga, what?
Just learning a way to hustle, like just trying to find any way in to get some money.
He was doing that in 2014. So if he got out and was out here during the pandemic and caught wind of that, what he did, I know his ass.
Yeah, and again, he's not a mastermind. Some people are really good.
Yeah.
Like
he's really good at that.
Like he was decent.
He's good at getting it. He's just not good at like what comes next.
But that's the whole point of lying.
It's caught.
Because thievery is some sense of lying. It's some sense of like living in a, dishonorable way, right? And the thing is that catches up with you because the one thing in and of itself isn't enough. Like you telling someone a lie, it doesn't just stop there. No. They're going to talk to someone else. And does that other person know the truth? Well, what happens when that person tells them the truth? They're like, oh, well, they just told me that this happened. Like, there's so many things that you have to cover when you're talking about a lie. And there's so many things that you have to cover when you're robbing someone. You're stealing documents or medicines and you're trying to sell them on the street. Like, there are other things down the line that you're going to have to worry about that criminals don't have the foresight a lot of the time to take into account.
They're thinking about how I can do this. Right. And they're not thinking of like,
how can I continue to do this? What part of this
can get me caught? Or where could, like, they're not looking at what are them slipped up.
Well, where are the holes? Where does this fall through?
Get caught, because I'm sure the ones who don't get caught, nice. Like, wasn't there a group? I think I said it on here before. There was a group who like hacked the city of Miami's like emergency lines, and they had that shit like jammed up to where you couldn't call like 911. And in order for them to free up that whole system, had the city of Miami like wire them a certain amount of money in Bitcoin.
See.
And they were never caught.
These are people doing crime at a different level. Mm-hmm. Like you hacking into the emergency database and shutting the availability of it down long enough for you to be able to get a transaction of money and get the fuck out of Dodge is different than wearing an ankle monitor and going to someone's house to rob them and then shooting them.
See, that person or people, they were not located. They weren't located in Miami. They were probably in fucking Japan or fucking Nicaragua somewhere. They were probably somewhere far away doing that type of shit.
That must be an exciting life.
Yeah, that's probably like the way I would do it if I was going to do it. I wouldn't place my physical body in the place where the crime takes place. I feel like there's just too many variables. Like if shit can go wrong, I could be getting up out of there. Ooh, trip, bop, smack the shit out of my knee because I tripped, and now my whole plan is fucked up.
The worst part about these instances where we've known the people to commit these crimes and get caught and given just exorbitant amount of years in prison now is like, or you're spending prison across seas somewhere where you are not from, so now you have to learn how to survive in that particular prison in some culture you don't know about.
Oh, that breakfast trash. I know the food of it. Oh, I know that food trash.
That's just so fucking crazy to be doing these things. But on top of that is it's like your first time. It's easily the worst first experience you've had in your entire life, because you set out to do something thinking you were going to make a lot of money.
You think you're going to be over here, and you ended up
just
on the
completely opposite side of the spectrum. Like, you thought you was going to be balling with your side bitch, and y'all flying and making money, and you doing this and doing that, and now you're in prison in a different country. On a different continent.
You're like,
it's real. Really, really fast.
God. Imagine waking up.
Right. Yeah.
You know how when you go to sleep, a lot of times, like, you ever go on vacation and you go to sleep, and when you're first waking up, you forget you're there sometimes? Or going on camp,
Yeah. That most certainly can happen.
You know that first little moment you wake up and you're like, oh yeah, that's right.
That can definitely happen.
Bro, imagine waking up and you're like, oh shit, that's
fuck, no. that wasn't a dream. I'm actually fucking in
this motherfucker.
A prison across seas. Like, fuck.
Oh, that's good.
Like, what rules do they have to follow in the UK?
Matter of fact, I saw a tweet that said the same shit. Nigga said, man, fuck heartbreak. You ever take a nap in jail and forget you was in jail?
Oh no, that's so fucking terrible.
God.
But yeah, to think that, again, your first time, because it goes back to me. You're gonna move drugs across the ocean. All right. How do you know this is a good idea? Like, how long did the process take before you actually decided you were going to get on a plane with pounds of drugs? Like, how do you know the person that got you into it? Who do they know that did it for a long period of time and got away with it and earned a lot of money? Do they know anyone like that? Or do they have some inkling, some feeling that you could actually do this? Are you going to do a dry run first? Because again, for me, it's not about... maybe it's an investment to take a whole trip over to the UK.
Everything.
But I need to see it all. So I'm going to take a dry run. I'm going to take a flight over there where I'm not doing this, and I want to scope things out and see how they take care of certain stuff. And a flight back where I'm not doing anything. Who is the contact over there that I'm supposed to be getting in contact with? Because I know I'm not... the plan is not to get all this stuff over there and then sell it on the street, right? No. Like, I'm not walking around and trying to sell...
Hey, I got that America. Hey,
we're not doing that, right? Which means there's a contact in which you're supposed to be offloading a large quantity of whatever drug you're peddling. And if so... how do you know this person? Is this person to trust? How do you... like, who is this person working for? How do you know you... what? There's way too much. There's way too much, and something tells me that all these questions were not answered before hopping on the plane. But it's sad, because then there are kids left behind. Like, where's daddy at? Oh well, fuck.
You fired.
You're definitely fired.
You fired.
It's just craziness, and then you have years ahead of you.
Yeah. You know it.
Criminals are not masterminds.
No,
they're not.
No.
They're
criminals that get caught are not.
No, because there are criminals that are masterminds that get caught. Like, listen, because you have to also think about this. The criminals that don't get caught, them niggas got caught mad times. Like, they know what jail is like. They've been in the system.
Some of them.
They grew up. They didn't just grow up and they were just ill at being a criminal. Like, just understood everything.
Whoa.
Like, they probably did a few things, got caught a couple times, maybe went to juvie a little bit, got a little bit older, got a little bit better, got in a crowd of other people doing a lot of the same shit. Maybe did a little bit like petty crimes and got in jail like 3 months here, 6 months there. And they got better. They learned more skills whilst they were in jail. Yeah. Got out.
What about the criminal masterminds who are so good at what they're doing is legal?
Oh, they're different. They're like Michael Jordans, though. Yeah. Like, they're top
the
tier.
Pharmaceutical niggas, the real estate niggas who,
Those are like extreme couponing people that go to the store and buy $800 worth of stuff,
and
but the store
$30.
Yeah, but the store owes them $30, or even if it's not that drastic, still, like, those are just people that are they're really, really good, and they spend a lot of time doing that thing. But it takes a lot of, like, to become a good criminal. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where to start. That's the thing.
I think the thing is, like, I'm not doing no crime to where if I succeed with the crime, I'm still living in the same place. If I'm gonna go for a crime,
Fuck no.
I'm doing a crime to where I'm up out of here. I'm talking meals, nigga.
Not doing petty, bro.
I'm talking meals, nigga. I'm not looking for no 6 fingers.
I need to be good.
I need to be up out of here.
Yeah, I need to be set.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to do this once.
Right.
I'm going to do this thing once. I'm not going to have repeated occurrences.
I'm not going to be out here robbing the 7-Eleven for no $60. That's drugs most of the time, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's drugs. That's people just trying to find. Oh, man, that's terrible.
You robbing somebody for like 50,000, 60,000, like, nigga, you gonna still be at the same spot? Because you're not gonna. What are you gonna do with that?
With the 60,000?
Yeah. What are you gonna do with that?
If you hit a lick, you rob someone, you come up 60,000. That does a couple of things. So one thing it does is
it's gonna buy you drugs to sell. That's all they're gonna do.
Because okay. Are you talking about what it's going to do for me?
Yeah, no.
Because
I'm talking about them.
I was about to say because I got a plan. Like with 60,000, that's a lot.
Yeah, but with 60, I'm still gonna have to make a lot more moves. I'm gonna be in the same spot.
But people live off of 30,000. Teachers live off of 32,000 a year. They find some way. You know what I mean, to make it work. So what I'm saying is, if you have something slight, say you have a part-time job, you work 2-3 days a week, and you rob someone or something, and you get $60,000. That is sometimes 2 times the amount of people's salary. So you could live, that 30,000 should be able to take you for a year. Like you should be able to eat small meals, like pay rent, stuff like that.
But like I said, you're going to still be in the same.
Right. But what I'm saying is, but that extra 30,000 maybe, or 20,000 if you want to, move up, and maybe that 40,000 is what you'll use for a year, gives you the space to figure other things out that are outside of crime.
Kinda,
like but maybe it'll allow you the space to be able to breathe and like figure out other things you want to do or other ways you want to invest your money. And it's just like when you get money. Like if you start making $150,000, you won't be able with that amount of money to get out of here, quote unquote. But it will allow you space to figure other things out.
That money can be in the bank though.
What?
I can go that $150,000 in a year. I can put that can be in the bank. Mm-hmm. If I go here look for 60,000, I can't just go deposit that. I can't just go start buying stocks and shit right away. Somebody's gonna come asking, okay, where'd you make this from?
Yeah, you gotta wash it. See, that's another part. Is like you have to find. That's the whole point that we're talking about. Is how do I continue to do this? Not like do this one time.
Right. So most of it's like that.
It's like how do I wash the money? Like because money laundering. Yeah, you don't own a business.
And to do that, I'm gonna have to put some of the money in the bank. They're gonna still ask me where I got this from.
Yeah, what other way could you launder money if you don't own a business? I guess you could know someone that owns a business.
Yeah.
And
start there.
Yeah, and slowly get them to like put your money in with their money.
For you to be here. You're going to still be here for it'll be a long process.
Well, it's a longer process the more money it is.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So if I'm gonna do it, it'll have to be for like 2 million cash, gold coin, some random shit to where like I know some African motherfucking gangsters is gonna give me.
I was about to say
movie type.
I was about to say with 2 million, because 2 million ain't what it used to be.
No,
what are you gonna do with that? Because you're gonna be gone.
I'm gone.
But gone for how long?
Gone. Another country. Gone.
And you're just gonna live in like
I'm gone. Yeah, I'm gonna live like a king in another country. I'm gone. I'm gonna make
Is it gonna be okay? All right. The reason I'm asking you this is because is it a country where you now have to learn their language? Because what sort of country do you go to where you can live like a king, but you don't have to learn
a
completely different
down south?
Somewhere. So you're gonna be learning Spanish.
Yeah, I can go somewhere down south.
Yeah, you can learn some Spanish, man. It would be easy.
Get on with a farm. Fishing boat.
So is it okay? So this is your plan. Like this is what you're doing. Just a little farm, fishing boat. Like you would just.
I'm gone, but like I'm out of here. The fishing is just spend the day. Meanwhile, I got all kind of shit at the crib.
Funny.
Might just show up. Nah, I'd probably just cut my head off and take the money.
What are you thinking about? Showing up and doing what with who? Cartel?
Yeah, might just show up. Hey, nigga, look what I got. help me. They might just be like, oh yeah.
Don't go to the cartel. That's a terrible idea.
They might be like, oh yeah.
You alone trying to go make a deal with the cartel with $2 million in your pocket is the worst option you could possibly choose. So yeah, just go get gone. Don't do that. That's ridiculous. Yeah. Well, oh my gosh, man. Yeah, no. If I was in criminality, I would just be just fine. But no, I've no desire to get into any of that. You know, going back to the criminal system of the police force here. Every time I've been pulled over, I felt just fine. I literally say nothing else but yes sir or yes ma'am. I don't say any. There's nothing else. There's nothing else for me to say to you. A lot of times when you do get a little dickhead cop, you can just tell that like you can tell what they want to do, what they're trying to do. But when you're just chilling, I'm not taking that route. Most of the time, they're just chilling. Because first and foremost, I'm driving because my time is important to me. Yeah. So like I'm clearly trying to get somewhere because I'm in a car being pulled over. Yeah. So whatever energy you have for me, I'm not worried. I'm trying to go somewhere. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work. I'm going home. I don't want to have a conversation with you. No. Right? So maybe if the police officer wants to come and sit on the pod, that's cool. But like, I don't want to sit there and have a conversation with you. So I'm just, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm not arguing the charge here. I'm not arguing the charge. Yeah, nigga, you caught me speeding. Okay, give me the ticket. I'll sign it. Whatever. If I have a problem, I'll take it. But by the end, every single time when it's time to give me the ticket, it's always, I'm gonna knock this down because you've been a very compliant, pleasant man. You know, you've been very, very, well spoken. Court, judge, he was real compliant. Okay, court costs, knock that down. All right, bye. I got nothing else to say to them. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not talking shit. Yep. I'm not getting aggressive. I'm not getting out the car. Right. There's mad shit that's not about to happen. The only thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna give me this ticket and I'm leaving. And that's that. I'm gone. Like it's it. I'm not about to argue or none of that. So I don't have these run-ins. The only time there was a weird run-in is when that police officer told me he was going to shoot me. I was going to say it. When we were teenagers, because I... But, like, I feel like that would have went differently in a different city. It could have. Oh, well, of course. Because we heard they're shooting. They pulled up. They'd have... Get on the car. Yeah. They could have went crazy. Yeah. They were just like, man, give me the gun. If you point at me, I'm going to shoot you. Like, which is also still kind of like over the top. Kinda, but he didn't even have his gun out. Because I have, that we have paintballs in this. This, that these are paintball guns. Yeah. They were paintball guns, or they were BB guns. Oh, they were guns and paintball guns. BB guns and paintball guns. We had a lot of everything. Remember, everything, and they were just like. But the thing is that he was telling me if you hit me with a paintball or a BB, I'm going to shoot you with like a .30 caliber bullet. Like you know what I mean? But at the same time, like he was just saying that he didn't even have his gun out. Right. I think another police department. It would like the gun would have been out. It'd have been like as he said it. It'd been like, I wish you. It'd have been different. It'd have been way different. We didn't got popped because we've seen stories of single person getting popped for not having one. And we were a group car full of niggas with. So when was the last time you were out somewhere and you felt like, yep, that just happened because I was black? The last real time we're talking about with the police. No, in general, where they were just like, no, I just got mistreated because I have braids in. I have braids. I feel like that doesn't happen to me. Okay, because I feel like I'm black, but I feel like white people look at me as like, oh, he's not one of them. I've always even with the braids. Yep. That's just always what. What do the braids? What do the braids say to you? But I've gotten that more than anything. I've gotten that than like, oh, you're not black. Like, oh, yeah, and I'd be like, nigga, you got that too. Yeah, but it was like, you're not like what you like. You're one of the good ones. I know you get that shit. Like, you're black, but like, you like, what does that? As Keon said, what type of black person are we talking about here? What black person are we talking about? Oh man, it's crazy. That's insane. It's crazy. That's crazy. Like I can't say that about any other like race at all. Like you don't hear that about nothing. No other race. But I mean, like you're Hispanic, but you're not like Hispanic. Do people say that? Maybe they do. I don't know. Do they? It probably just happens if you do not
speak fluent English.
If you don't exhibit, that's one. If you don't exhibit whatever it is that they attribute to the culture that you come from,
people really get mad about that.
So if they feel like if you're not aggressive, if you can speak well, and you don't blame everything on being black, then you're not one of those black people.
Like, people really get mad when they like hear somebody speaking different languages. They'll be like, "This is America." Like, speak English, but it's crazy. It's like this is wild to me. When I hear people speaking Spanish, I'm just like, damn, I wish I'd have just went on ahead and learned it.
This is the whole thing. You can still learn it.
I know that, but
language ain't going.
But I'm saying it's like in that moment I don't know it.
Yeah.
But so it's like, damn, like
it's
I want to know all the languages. I don't get mad.
It's the same sort of shit that's just like, oh, they're taking all of our jobs. Build the wall higher. And the thing is, like, nigga, you don't want the job. And even if you do, as we were talking about before, you suck. Like, you're not a good worker. I don't want you, and it's not because I want this other person. Like, what if you don't fit the qualifications? What if this other person is bilingual? And it just makes more sense for them to be there because they have a skill that you don't have.
You don't know the language.
Like, and they're just like, well, I shouldn't have to learn Spanish. Those people should have to learn English and learn how to, correspond with me. Then me learn how to communicate with them. And it's like, nigga, we not worried about what you think ought to be the case. The case is we have a bunch of different people in this community that speak a lot of different languages. Spanish may be the largest one. We need someone that can do this. You can't do it. Go sit your ass down in the unemployment line and go get another job. Whatever the fuck else. Nigga, get the fuck out of my face. You don't know what you're talking about. But people do that shit all the time. They constantly, like, I didn't get it for this reason or that reason. It's like, no, it's because you weren't good.
Yeah, you weren't
better than the other people.
You wasn't nice. You wasn't cold with it. Yeah, you weren't better than everybody. You weren't.
Yeah, I don't ever feel that thing. Now again, I realize that I live where I live, and maybe things are.
But you did say that you started noticing the people started being a little more friendlier.
Yeah, but that was because I put a suit on. Is that what you? Yeah, but that was because I put a suit on. That's like another layer. That's a status thing.
Yeah,
not necessarily like a racial status, but just a status.
I can't think of a time when somebody was just like different.
Yeah, you felt that way. And I think a lot of the reason why you don't is because you don't look at things through that lens automatically. Yeah. That was my whole issue with the fucking Ibram X. Kendi book that came out. The nigga that used to go to Stonewall, now Unity Reed in Virginia, and came out with that book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. It was just so over the top. It was such bullshit. It was pandering to black people that feel marginalized so hard. And because he made up, it's not like, but it's not real like logic. It's him making up words, and then with definitions of his own that start off with, every chapter starts off with two different definitions. And so it's the premise, it's the infrastructure for the chapter. So if you don't believe in the definition, then the chapter falls. It has no support. You have to believe in that first. And so he sets up these premises that are illogical, you have to suspend disbelief to read the book, and that's a wild way to read a book that's talking about social sciences. Like, it's not. Go ahead.
I will say.
Did you read this book?
No.
Oh, okay.
I will say that's just our experiences, because there are certain spaces where people do get a little funny with black people and certain.
No. I get that. What I'm saying is, well, one, you really have to read the book, because he's the one that espouses that in order to, and maybe a lot of people agree with this because the book was fucking bestseller and all sorts of shit like that. So, and it was winning prizes, is in order to justify or rectify the racism of the past, you must be like diligently racist in the current time. Like, that is like his infrastructure, because in order, like, you must be racist towards or prejudice heavily towards the people that once, this would be white people, that once were at the top and had control over everything and held other people back for their advancement in the race of human beings. So you must be currently in just
So
aggressively
far against it.
Exactly, to hold them back whilst other people then catch up. And that's a weird game to try to play, because who's to say when all the other people have caught up the way that they supposed to, so then you can let white people live again. And so the more and more you get into the book, you're just like, this is kind of wild. Like, it's over the top. So no one's saying that racism doesn't exist,
right,
and that people don't get treated wrongly, and that people don't get certain opportunities that they ought to have. It's like that definitely happens a lot of the time, different places, for a lot of different people. But then there's an overcorrection for things, and that's type of book.
The pendulum swing.
That's a wild overshot. That's an overcorrection.
That's super.
It was
wild.
such a difficult read, and I only was able to get like 5 chapters in. I couldn't even read the whole thing.
Super against them in order to be anti-stat.
In order to be anti-racist.
Yeah, because if you're not anti them, then you're with what the fuck they doing.
Right, and there's no in between. There is no, like, you have morality, immorality, and amorality, things that we can deem as human beings that just really don't have a real ethical standpoint. Like, it doesn't really matter which way you go. Like, it doesn't really matter. But what he's saying is there's racist and anti-racist actions and thoughts, and there's no in between. There is no anything that is absolvent of those two. Like, there's nothing on the planet, no institution, no thought, no actions that are happening that are not either one of those things, racist or anti-racist. And it's like, that's a bad way of just looking at that's a wildly skewed lens to just see the world through. There's so much more. He needs to
trip a little bit.
That might be the case. But also, I'm not saying he's lying about everything, but there may have been some sauce that he put on it because of the times. And sometimes you're going to get people that are like, you got to strike while the iron's hot. And right now, if I put this book out, I can't wait 8 years to put this book out. I don't know what the climate's going to be like. If I start writing this stuff, put this book out in the next year, this shit going to go. Because that's the time. That's the climate. People are going to be like, yeah, Ibram X. Kendi, fuck them niggas. Like, that's the way it's going to be. Fuck them white niggas. Like, that's what it's going to be. But now I will also say that he said that racism can be held by anyone. Like, anyone can do it. So the thing is that it's weird, and that's how you capture people, because you throw some truths out there. Everything he says is not ridiculous. Right. Like, a lot of things he says make sense. Okay. And then interwoven into that is a bunch of bullshit that doesn't make any sense.
You mean Dr. Umar?
Don't say my man, Dr. Umar. That nigga is not my man. Ever since I first saw a video of him, I'm like, what is all this anger? What's it? Why is he so angry?
Hey, he's along that same line of everything.
Yeah, he's really, really against interracial relationships. He's like, you have to keep it pure. Like, we need blacks with blacks.
That's the exact same thing that, like, the KKK down with. Like, they're down with purity. Like, we just got to keep all humans got to be in these separate boxes. Like, there's no evolution here. We're not going to blend and just keep evolving.
People are so focused on so many weird fucking things. They're so focused on so many weird things in life.
Like, do you seriously, let's say the Earth is still around 1 million years from now.
Okay. All right.
Do you really think that there's still going to be racists like that? Or are we just going to... Because,
it's so difficult to tell, because it's like, what technological advances take over in that amount of time?
In 1 million years.
Are we able to figure it out? Are we able to tap into people's brains in a way that allows them to...
Are we even going to be a race anymore? Is there going to even be a body anymore in 1 million years? 1 million years? If the Earth is still around?
Yeah, who knows?
I know 1 million's far for people to think, so let's...
Yeah, that's so difficult.
Let's just go 1,000 years. 1,000 years from now.
1,000 years is fucking hard. Yo, people didn't not know where we were going to be 20 years ago. Like, 1,000 is so hard. We can do hundreds. Yeah. I think we can try to do hundreds. Yeah. Hundreds is easier.
500 years from now. So 500 years from the 1500s. And let's go 500 years forward.
Let's do one. Let's do one, because that's too difficult too. Because just 100 years ago, how many years ago was slavery? Okay, so like here in America, because there's clearly tons of slavery still happening.
18,
right? See what I'm saying? That's 2 people ago.
Exactly.
That's 2 human beings
just
ago.
Happened.
Right.
So like my thing is, it's like it's going to change a lot, like years from now.
Yeah.
So like trying to keep shit pure, keep it all the same. Like you're fighting a fight that is like.
It's futile.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Yeah.
You are a dumbass, small, and I don't just mean that particular person. All of us, just dumbass little human. Like people, we need to get in our lane. Like, we need to humble ourselves and understand what we are. Like, bro, relax, bro. Fucking lax. You're like, not about to make a pure race of people.
Human race, the humans on the planet are just going to continue to mix around, and the race is going.
Which makes sense.
Are going to continue to grow.
Which makes sense because you're going to grow, and if you're not completely indoctrinated to believe that you and your family and your race and your community do everything correct, and you're not curious about anything outside of that. Yeah. If that doesn't overtake you, then you're going to be a curious person and be like, oh shit, like, what do you do for Thanksgiving? Oh, actually, me and my family don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving or Day of the Turkey or whatever the Friendsgiving, whatever the fuck it's called these days. Yeah. You know, like, oh, we don't do that. Oh, really? Why not? Oh, well, you know, I'm actually from this part of the world, and over here we do. So it's like, oh, I'm interested in that.
How long has Thanksgiving been around? At the most, 400 years, 500, if we're gonna say that. But I think they really started doing it in the 1900s. Is when they really started getting it. It was like 1960s, 50s.
People are interested in things that they don't grow up around a lot of the time. Like that's
so like 200 years from now, it's gonna be some way different holidays.
It makes sense for us to mingle and to have sex.
It's gonna be different
interracially. And to learn more about each other. And that's the only thing that stops all this hatred anyway, is like when you meet people that have just been around other human beings that don't look like them or eat all the same foods. You're trying to
stop something that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like, why you're fighting?
Just resisting.
It's like trying to build a sand wall in front of like the ocean.
Oh, like that's a good way of putting it.
Bro, what are you doing? Like it's...
That's the best way that I think I've heard it put, for sure. Like, just trying to build like a fucking like a huge ass sand castle. It is like, nigga, these ebbs and flows. Sometimes it's gonna look like you're winning. Yeah. Sometimes it's gonna look like this makes sense. But once them waves start coming in,
nigga, like
it's a wrap.
What are you doing?
Your whole shit is ruined. Because you're stupid and it's a sand castle.
It's a natural flow of things. You're not about to stop what's happening.
Yeah, that's why I don't really care. I used to be more like that, so I understand that. I understand. Like I used to be more like that, and it wasn't that long ago. You can go back and listen to pod episodes where I was angry at people for doing whatever the fuck it was they were doing. Yeah. Which is why when you brought to me the story today about this guy from wherever in South America, you said he. Like, was it like involuntary manslaughter? Is that what it would be?
Something I think it was like something like
he was in a car. There was a car crash.
Yeah,
he was operating. He was at the wheel.
I don't know if he was operating. Maybe he was, but they said.
But either way, his family died. Like daughters, 2 daughters.
It looked like 2 kids.
Yeah, and a wife. And he's now walking around town with these dolls, these life-size dolls that maybe kind of resemble what they look like, but clearly they're also dolls, so they look crazy because you're drawing faces on like pieces of paper and then putting that on
a pillow stuff.
Like, like you're trying to. I don't know what you're putting it on. Yeah. And the townspeople, wherever he's at, are allowing him to walk around with these dolls, and they're playing into his reality.
Yep.
They're just like, "Oh, how was Mary today?" You know, whatever the fuck. Acting like those dolls are alive, and they're letting him play that out.
Yep.
Because he doesn't want to come to terms with the fact that his family's dead. Mm-hmm. There may be someone that's like, that shouldn't be the case. Someone ought to tell him, put him in his place, or put him in a psychiatric ward or whatever. And my whole thing is, listen, man. If there's nothing that's linked to that sort of mindset and tendencies that at any point in time come into contact with harming other human beings. If he doesn't get violent and start snapping and going crazy, I mean, let that motherfucker live with them dolls. Like, what do you want to do? I personally don't care. But now if some scientists come to me and tell me that that's going to get to a place of like craziness, because for instance, say The whole town is not on board. And there's a fucking asshole, because there's always there's always an asshole that comes through with a newspaper, and he finds this guy at a coffee shop, and he runs up to him with a newspaper that shows that his family died in this car accident, and he's like, look at what you did, these motherfuckers are not real. And he starts getting in his head and showing him. Now this guy, again, his brain is trying its best to believe that these dolls are his family and that he had no part in their demise. His brain is trying really hard to believe that. Now, if this guy starts mouthing off, talking some shit, now we may have something violent that takes place.
Yeah, Shutter Island. Remember,
so maybe
he kept beating up the other prisoners that would call him by his real name.
Oh yeah, see. So maybe that would be the retort. Yeah. That would be the rebuttal. Like maybe we ought to keep an eye on him, because it may go away. Yeah. It may go a certain way. But off the rip, like my initial response to that is let him walk around and live.
Fuck it.
Let him live. If he comes to terms with this.
It would be funny, like I said, if I was like a waiter and I was like, oh, what do you want to eat?
If you're a waiter at a restaurant, that's the thing. It's the level of participation from the town now. Yeah. Like if you bring your wife that's a doll to the doctor's office and you're telling the doctor that your wife needs to be checked up on, like she needs, like what do you, like.
Yeah, it's like I got real motherfuckers I got to look at.
Yeah, it's like, bro, I'm looking like, bro, I have to save lives today. Like, I don't have time for I can't do this, bro. I'm sorry, man. Like, I really want to do this. I really want to help you out, bro, but I can't do this.
I can't do this.
You know, like, even as a server. Because even
I can't, like, bro.
Yeah, like, I have shit to do. Again, time is of the essence. I have shit to do. It's busy. I can't be sitting here waiting for your doll wife to come up with her order. Like, I can't, bro. I'm so sorry, man. Like, if we were on the side of the road and I was just walking and it was leisure, I would definitely, I'll play your game. I'll do enough. I'm not gonna sit there and have a whole conversation with her, but like, I'll do enough to get out of there. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna tell you that you're fucking crazy and stupid. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be on about my way because I want to make it home too.
Yeah, I don't want to be walking around with some dolls.
I don't. But if I'm working, I can't participate, bro. Oh man, that's rough. That's a rough, man. The mind is so fragile and so powerful at the same time.
Right.
The fact that it was able to break, like snap like that, and at the same time reinforce this belief.
There.
Yeah.
Hurry up, threw a big ass Band-Aid around that
before that shit just completely ruptures. And whoa.
Yeah.
These like safety mechanisms that your brain has to like, or your mind, I should more so say, I guess.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Has to protect you.
It's nuts.
Yeah, that is nuts. That is nuts. I've really taken much more of that in consideration when addressing other human beings. I have no fucking idea what's going on in their mind, bro. I have no idea. So I just sit back and I just listen to them, you know, and just gauge everything one step at a time.
Yep.
You just have no fucking idea.
You don't know where that motherfucker is at. You don't know where they think that they at. You don't know. You don't know where they at. That's why I said like my hypothetical for like zombies, like what if like as a zombie when you're walking around but all you see is big pieces of candy walking around, big like cartoon chickens. That's what zombies see.
Right. I see what you're saying.
And we see like hungry.
I mean, that's kind of what, like, if you watch those old cartoons when motherfuckers was hungry, it was like a big ass chicken that would pop up in their mind, like their thought bubble, and like that's the way that they saw the person, like a chicken.
There was an episode of Black Mirror like that. Did you see that?
I saw everyone. So which one?
The one with the soldiers. The soldiers start seeing the truth. Remember?
The soldiers start seeing the truth.
Yeah. They had gone, when they had enlisted, they had implanted them with something so that the certain race of people appeared to them as like these like weird shits, but they were just normal people.
Yeah.
And like the people went zapped him and like disengaged his chip, so he started seeing them as actual people, and he was like, "Oh shit,
Like, we're just over here killing humans.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was a crazy episode.
That is crazy. Yeah, because if you wanted to make the perfect war machine, you would want them to kill completely discompassionately. Like, it just feel nothing towards this thing. So you would want them to see some fucking aliens or just some shit that doesn't look
they're
human.
just going crazy on him. And he was like, he started remembering. He was like, shit. Like, that's right. I did sign up for this. And he thought, remember they had programmed him to the point where he thought he had a home and a wife and all that shit at home. None of that shit was real. All that shit was part of
right, because that programming would allow you to give you something to fight for.
Yeah.
Oh home, my fuck!
Nigga ain't have shit. Nigga, house was all fucked up. Nigga ain't have shit at home.
Wow, but that would be the way to make the perfect soldier, to make the perfect warrior. You're fighting for a child at home, a wife at home, in America, or whatever nation that loves you and needs you. These people aren't even really people at all.
We got these alien creatures. We gotta kill them.
Oh,
meanwhile, they're just people.
That's definitely, man. See, these Black Mirror shit. These things are gonna happen,
right?
Because it's like, why wouldn't it?
Neuralink,
ethically speaking,
niggas
there's some things, but they'll get around that.
Niggas make Neuralink. Government get a hold of that. They start downloading shit to niggas' brains.
Yeah, to make things easier for them. Yeah, it's just gonna be some form of like psychotherapy in a sense.
Yeah,
like just trying to help people get through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you wouldn't have post-traumatic stress disorder if you just thought that you were killing aliens.
They had something that you could put in your head that made you see all your dead loved ones at home. You could communicate. Niggas are gonna be at their house just chilling.
Yeah,
just talking. Are they talking to themselves? I don't know.
I know, and that's why when I heard about this thing of these text apps where you could text fake boyfriends and girlfriends, and like they know that they're fake. They know it's not a real person, but then when whatever company slowly started to pull that back because they thought, okay, maybe we're going in the wrong direction with this. People started getting mad, sending letters, and we're upset. Like, you took away the one person that knew and loved me, and I could speak to it every moment.
AI getting good.
And they started giving like suicide hotlines and like therapy recommendations to these people, like therapist recommendations to them. It's like
AI getting good too. Somebody's gonna be somewhere.
Yeah, that's the whole point. When I'm looking at people and talking to them, I have no fucking idea.
And you see how they can do like AI voices, they can do AI video. So imagine that mixed with that, and now you got people on FaceTime with like an AI that like, you think it's a person, and they're talking to that shit every day. I mean, this could really be in the next like 10, 15 years, motherfucker.
That's why when you're talking about give me the next 500 years, I'm like, nigga, we can't do that. Like, we have to go by like 20, 50, maybe 100. Like, we cannot fathom 500 years, 1,000 years from now. Shit changes way too fast.
Now it does.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm saying.
It's exponential. Technology is on the exponential like growth.
Right. Yeah.
Like the next 5 years is supposed to be a bigger jump than like the last like 20.
I really, really enjoy sitting. That's like most of the love that I have for this is because I feel like we're getting further away from it. So maybe I'm finding this is more of like a novel thing to just sit with real human beings that don't have some weird, because work is different because you're speaking to people's representatives, not like them.
Yep.
So it's like fun to just look at another human and just have that conversation, because I feel like we're just getting further and further away. So like this is me just holding on to this one thing that I love. I think
15 years from now, you might just be in here talking to AI. You might just be. You might download the Earl AI and have a conversation with yourself.
That would be.
Would you do it?
Have a conversation with myself.
If it had AI that was good enough to like.
And there's like what, holographic or like a hologram in a sense.
That shit like scanned and calculated all the pods over like the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And then you get to like download and like talk to it.
Yeah, all my thought processes and all that sort of stuff.
Talk to you.
I wonder, how crazy that would be. Or if it would have, because at that point, it would have to be able to improvise in a way that is truly, naturally, organically creative. Because I've done a lot of thinking, so it would be interesting to speak to me in a way where it's going to surprise me, or like show me something that I don't already know about it because it's me. Right. So if it started coming up with like new ideas that I haven't thought of yet, you know, but in an Earlistic way.
I'm gonna be like,
Then I'm like, oh,
you might just be
now we're fucked up because
you might just be stuck talking to that shit
because now
for like days.
Because at that point, it can replace me because it's me and more. You know, if it can do if it figures out emotion and like again how to improvise in a creative, fun, and just all these different sorts of ways, like everything that a human is. Right. That's because sometimes it's going to be interesting to watch how ChatGPT continues to evolve because I'm thinking like the creative aspect of what a human being is. Sometimes you're having a conversation with someone and the way that the segue happens like into the next bit of the conversation, it's not always just like a real easy thread. Sometimes it makes you think of some shit that's like way left field, but you find a way to bring it in. So like, is it going to learn how to do that? Where it just brings up something that you feel like is completely unrelated, but it can show you and it's like, whoa, how did you...
You're like
creatively think like that? That's when it'll get... At that point... it's a wrap. Not when it's like linear thinking of like A, B, C, like
fact.
Yeah. Like we're talking about apples, so it's going to continue to talk about apples or other fruits. Like no.
Well, remember how so and so did?
Right.
Like, nah. Close the goddamn laptop. That's it. Pie over. That's it. Done. No. Oh shit. That would get crazy.
Yeah, because that's the beauty of humans now. Is just the variability. Like it's just like you just don't fucking know because you can't take into account all these personal experiences that make them think about things in very weird and unique ways. But if that shit happens, which again, it clearly is far than enough for a lot of people to have relationships with whatever apps. My little sister told me about one of these apps years ago, so I had been known that people had been texting these text message generator apps that speak to you kindly like they're a boyfriend or a girlfriend. And people just talk to them things and feel good about it. And that's for other people. And again, I don't know what it's like to be one of those people where that actually fulfills you. I like real human beings standing across from me. Like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like this beginning of this episode, this is a weird world. It's just weird. That's why I threw that in there. It's like, because that pretty much encompasses every single podcast. No matter what's talked about on the podcast, it's still a weird fucking world.
Yeah, just strange shit going on.
That's hilarious. 10 milligram little gummy here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looks like this is going.
Yeah.
Slowly
from
ease.
My promo codes? They the plug.
No, actually, no. This isn't them. This is something from like some smoke shop that a friend found.
It's crazy.
And they help for sleep.
What's crazy is like the state of how easy it is. I thought that we would be like in our like 60s.
That's why you cannot predict like how things move, bro.
Moves fast.
It's crazy.
It might just be next year when all that shit happens. We talking about. It might just be next year. We talking about 10 years from now. That shit might be next year. They already have the ones. I know. Have you seen the ones where the dude will get in there on his own voice, rap into it, and then it can take his voice and make it mimic exactly like famous rappers. And so now it's
like take the lyrics that he put in there, but just put like Snoop's voice on it. So now
filter and it sounds just like him.
It's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good. Everyone's having the right conversations about this thing. Like it's just not like when Vincent Blaze brought it to me. Yeah. Like it's just not good. It's not. People can't trust shit today for nothing. There's too much potential for it to get in the wrong hands, and people try to drive narratives as they already do with propaganda. And this is going to be the biggest, most sophisticated, propaganda-driven thing that we have. And they're just going to make people say shit that they didn't. And you're not going to take the time. People aren't going to take the time to figure out if they really did or not. They're going to see a clip because a lot of people live off of clips. And they're going to see this 1 minute clip and be like, oh, you heard this motherfucker say this shit? And that's going to spread like wildfire. And that's going to happen for a lot of different people. The deeper deep fake gets with people's faces and facial recognition, with little eyebrows moving and all, just every little detail to what a macro expression or micro expression is in someone's face, mixed with everything they've ever said if they're a public person, mixed with everything they've ever said, every little tone of voice that they've ever had, every inflection,
calculating
every fucking thing, and put that all together. I don't know. I don't know where we are. I don't know. And yeah, a person like me, if for any reason anyone ever wanted to, they would have much more data for someone that just sits around and talks through a microphone all the fucking time. Yeah, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Because people don't know who to believe. People don't know shit. You can't research yourself is like a weird phrase that people throw people. Research yourself. Like, you can't just believe Fox 5 and CNN and MSNBC. You have to research yourself. It's like, all right.
At the end of the day, I can't go perform tests and studies.
Right. Like,
so all I can do is read information that I find, and you don't know. Somebody could have just typed that shit up yesterday.
And if for any reason, if COVID was made in a laboratory, or if it was made in the fucking Wuhan street market or whatever the case, once I find that information out, whoever I decide to believe about it, and I'm like, oh, it makes more sense for this to have been the case. So once I have that information, then how does that help me at my job tomorrow? Like, what am I gonna now as a civilian? Yeah. What do I do with that information except find myself maybe in a conversation with someone and be like, I read something, I think it's at this place, or it came from here.
That's where I got with like the people who like the flat Earth people. It's like, what are you gonna do? You gonna run to the edge? What are you gonna do? You can't go nowhere now. Now you here, nigga. Haha.
Yeah, that's a.
Now what?
The flat Earth theorist.
It's funny.
Okay,
yeah, it's flat.
Because I know sort of like a lot of things. These people are deniers more so than like finders of evidence. So it's more so just I defy and demean all information that comes from big institutions. Like, I don't believe this. I don't believe that what you guys showed as far as the moon landing was true. I don't believe the telescopes, or not telescopes, but the satellites that are showing us the view of the Earth.
Is fake.
I don't believe any of that. I've heard people be like, the Capitol riots, January 6th, that didn't happen. That was staged. That was just put online. Like, that was just put on TV, but that didn't actually happen in real life. Like, there are people that...
I mean, they couldn't be there, so...
And that... but as far as the flat Earth theorists go, okay, so you defy information coming from the institutions, but are you at all holding anyone responsible for going and seeing? Like, just where do you feel like it's flat? Like, where do you feel like it ends? And have someone go check it out.
But we can't. We're not allowed to go there.
Who's not allowed to go there?
Because they think Antarctica is like the ice wall around us. So you're not allowed to go to Antarctica. So,
so that's where the rubber meets the road for this theory. Is the Antarctica? It's an ice wall.
It surrounds us.
Oh, but on the other side of that would be whatever it is.
More land.
It'd be more land or
forbidden lands, and that they think that's the real planet.
Oh, so does it go? Oh, so it just goes on for infinity. Not that you fall off the edge, but that it just continues outward.
So, like, what does a rocket look like when it takes off? It goes like that, and because it's going around the Earth.
Right.
They're saying, "Oh no, it's just going. It's going out. It's going out to the other lands.
It's just going horizontally across the lands in a sense."
And you can't tell them nothing, bro. Oh, the moon. No, the moon it's in our own atmosphere. It's just sitting there. It's not real. And same with the sun. It's a lot of shit that, And if you give them any information about like physics, it's like, nope, that's not real. All that shit is fake. All NASA and all that shit, that's just not real. And I'm like, you know what? I can't prove it. I'm just like, you know what? I can't prove it either way.
Right. At the end of that, I'm only going to refer you to some people that say that it is true, or some photos and stuff like that you don't believe in. So there's no point. That's sort of like religion. When people come to me, if there's ever been religious talks I've had with people, when I try to start having the conversation, they usually defer to the Bible. Or, they make references to what God said here, what Moses said here, what Abraham said here. And it's like, okay, so we have to refer to the Bible in order for you to make points about religion. So there's no point in us having this conversation then, really.
You can go farther because the Bible and all those stories can be found in even older texts, which gets even crazier because then it's like, those stories were around a lot longer.
And like, what older texts are you talking about?
Like the Sumerian text, the first, not the first, but the oldest written text that we have. Like a lot of those same basic stories, you find that structure of flood stories or people named similar to Adam and Eve, but in that language.
Right.
It's very similar, like stories, but just
we got to
older civilization.
We got to a point in life where everybody just stopped believing all the same things.
Yeah.
And was like, man, fuck it. It's just every man out here for himself. Internet. Yeah, exactly.
Internet.
Yeah. That's crazy. It's like we don't have to believe any of the same stuff. And a lot of the times it's not necessarily important that we do. That's what's interesting about the fights and the points of contention between human beings is most of this stuff really doesn't matter. Like whether you believe that shit is flat and I believe it's spherical, when it comes to our daily lives, it's really not going to matter.
I was never fighting to fight with him, but like it got real funny when like I was talking to somebody who I used to work with who was just adamant it's flat, and he was like, "So how the fuck can we see the moon during the day if the moon's really in space?" And I'm like, "Cause it's sunlight. Sunlight's lighting it up." Oh, so you think the sun can just brighten up the moon? And I was just like, "What do you think?" I was like, "What do you think daytime is like? Like when you go outside, like you can see like everything outside. Like, what do you think that is?" And and the moon at night, that too. And I was like, "It's like sunlight." He was like, "So you trying to tell me the moon, like the light's just bouncing off the moon? It's that bright? Like really?" And I was like,
I mean, yeah.
I was like, dog,
I am.
I was like, dog, it's daytime right now. Like, where do you think this? Like, how do you think we can see each other right now?
Okay, all right. Regardless of if he thinks the Earth's flat, he knows that the Earth is just many light years away.
And he's like, yeah. So how the fuck? He's like, you mean to tell me I can see. But
he still believes that the sun is far away. He doesn't believe that the sun is.
No. They think the sun is like local, like miles above. It's small, miles above. Yeah, like
all right, man.
Like a baby's cradle.
All right, bro.
Just going around like like
a baby's cradle.
Look.
The son of come on, bro.
I need to see your reaction.
What are you talking about?
Hold on.
Okay, so they don't really think that the sun is either so it's not that bright and not that hot, really.
Right.
Okay. So it's like when the sun's bright and you go outside and it's like 110 degrees outside. Mm-hmm. If you were to travel up to the sun, he's thinking the sun may be what, like 1,000 degrees? Something like that.
They think, yeah.
I don't, yeah.
They think that like the weather is like, controlled by something down here and that all that shit is.
Yeah, again, so for me, life and who I'm willing to have conversations with and hang out with are really just contingent upon what type of just human being are you being. And if you want to believe in some of these little wacky things, like that's okay with me. Okay, so they think, so I'm looking at a diagram here. And so flat earth theory. Okay, so the sun. Okay, so yeah, so there's this polar ice caps at the top and we can't pass those. Because there's just stuff that flat earthers. Wow, I've never seen diagrams of the flat Earth. But what I will say is, no, it definitely does seem like there is an end to it.
Right.
Like there is an end to the world for them.
I guess at some point, there's got to be.
Like at some point, it ends. They don't believe for it to be an infinite landscape. It doesn't. I mean, at least
dome. Yeah, it's like a dome and like. To them,
I mean, hey, listen. I don't know. I don't know.
All I know is I'm here. I'm not about to go find out. I'm not about to get in a rocket.
That's a fact. I'm not gonna do any of that sort of stuff.
Maybe you're right. Okay, and here's my thing: is maybe you're right. Okay, now what?
And and then we move on, and then we're back to just us being regular human beings with regular tasks. Yeah. And how do you perform those?
Yeah.
Like, how much time are you allocating towards that?
It's even crazier
versus
now.
What it is you're doing in a day to day life.
Because now, if it is flat and we are in a dome, now it's like, all right, nigga, now you stuck here. Now you here. Ain't nothing else. So. Get your ass on back to work.
Now, do you believe that if for any reason there were frequent cataclysmic events here, and Elon found a way 50 years from now, 60 years, and like it was like, all right, we're ready to start getting us out of here, and we're evacuating.
Oh, they better have.
Are they getting on?
Mind. They better have a planet in mind. I'm not about
no, but even if they are the flat earthers getting on? Or do you think they're gonna be like, maybe we need to go with these niggas? Like, or you gonna be like, where are you guys going? The Earth isn't like, where do you think you're going?
Hey, you stay if you want. Hey, I'm not. I don't think at that point. Oh,
well, no, because I'm sorry, because all this is confusing. They believe the Earth is flat, but not that space isn't infinite.
Right.
Wait, no, because you're saying that if they fly a rocket, you're going over the expanse of landscape, not an expanse of space and time.
They don't believe that space is like real, that all that shit's fake. They think it's just like a ceiling, like a dome.
Right. Like we're encapsulated by this thing. So when you look out, that's what you see. Yeah. But there is a wall.
Yeah.
Like you can't get outside of that wall.
I
need to talk to one like for real. Have someone come on the podcast and like
and
really
there's nothing you can say to them because they don't like. There's all like science and stuff comes from like NASA and shit. So to them, it's like nope, you can't believe none of that.
Right,
none of that.
You're
shit.
all the institution that wants to pull the veil over your eyes for blank reason. What is the conspiracy? Like, why do they feel like people are lying to them about that? I wonder what that is. Like they're just lying for the sake of it, just to dupe everyone in the world. Guys think that it's circular, but it's not. We lied to you.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, it's flat. Now what?
People love in the prevailing and proverbial they of the world. Like people love this Illuminati type of thing where there's just these people, these wildly maleficent people just pulling all the strings.
In these robes up in a secret court, like looking down.
And I've had this talk with RJ a lot of the time, and he's been pretty level-headed about this entire time that Illuminati's ever been like a case, which is there's not a bunch of niggas in robes walking around a round table in the darkness just talking about how they're gonna fuck everything up for regular human beings.
Nasty niggas trying to stay rich and nasty.
Just human beings with human being tendencies.
That's it.
That want to preserve life for them and their own.
That's it.
Have fun while they're doing it. Accrue a ton of resources, stay powerful, safe. Yeah. That's it. And so they do those things. And sometimes that is not in the interest of the whole. Period.
We just want to stay rich.
But I don't know if they're just lying to us about
we gotta trick them.
twirling their mustaches. Like I don't think it's
like the video I kept sending like a month or two ago when the nigga was putting together the old McDonald had a farm. He was like,
who is the guy?
He's something online. I forget, bro. I don't know.
He was somehow trying to make a correlation between Old MacDonald Had a Farm, like that song.
The E-I-E-I-O. He was like, E, fifth letter of the alphabet. But E-I, 6. He was like, E-I, 6.
Yeah, he was like 666.
He was like, maybe we tripping.
Like you went into Old MacDonald and thought that it had some sort of demonic encryption inside of it that did what? Put demons inside of the kids that sang the songs. And people do.
I don't know.
People do a lot, man, and they give thinkers a bad rap.
Yeah,
because it's like, people that think really hard about stuff, they'll break down to you how they got to that place.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of times it can seem like a lot for someone that doesn't think that way.
Yeah.
So you connect dots, and sometimes it seems like you're connecting dots you don't really need to be connecting, like you're doing too much.
Yeah.
And in that case, he's doing too fucking much.
I haven't heard to say, maybe we tripping. Yes.
For anyone that watches a video like that, it's just like, oh shit, E-I-E-I-O.
Yeah.
Old MacDonald had a font, E-I-E-I-O. 666, like E. So is it like the E, fifth letter plus the I, which is the 1,
Roman
6, E-I-E-I-O. Hold on a second. Oh, what?
Yeah.
But that's too, you doing too. E-I-E-I-O what, nigga?
Stay off the damn weed. Them niggas don't even be doing it.
Yeah, drugs aren't good for everybody.
Yeah.
These mind-altering substances are not good for everybody. Some people just go off the deep end, no pun intended, with this
man.
flat Earth theory. But some people just go off the edge.
Yeah, man.
That's fucked up. All right, man, where are we at? We've been doing this for a while now. Holy shit! All right,
Let me see.
we've been doing this for a minute now.
Oh yeah, we getting it.
Yeah, for sure. What time is it? 7 o'clock. Yeah,
7:40.
it's about that time. Is there anything else that we need to get into? That we need to talk about?
Nah, I think
we're good.
Let me crack. No, well,
We cracked the case.
yeah.
All right, bet, man. This is good. We're gonna get Keon on one of these. He's gonna pop up. This
It was
motherfucker
crunch time.
with these. Oh yeah, it wasn't even his job. He's in college now. He's
Yeah.
doing
Nobody's not wanting to call.
Yeah. No, we're definitely gonna talk about that other guy in a second. Hold on a second. Let's get out of here. All right, episode 163. Woo! Yeah. Peace, everybody. Yeah. Hold on.